Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Son Gohan, cut off Bulma at the beginning. Chapter 41. I see. Vados just finished speaking. Then she saw that Son Gohan just gritted his teeth a little, and stood up from the ground again. Oops, Son Gohan, doesn't this have much impact on you? Vados raised his eyebrows slightly surprised. It stands to reason that with Son Gohan's strength, the weight she exerted on this pair of planetary bracelets should just exceed Son Gohan's limit weight by a few points. It is absolutely impossible to be so emotionally sent as it is now. Son Gohan shook his arms twice as if he was lifting a barbell, and said, "It has an impact, but at the beginning I underestimated the weight of this thing, so I was unprepared for a while, and it made something ugly. So that's how it is." Vados suddenly realized, there is no way. Then you can wear this pair of bracelets for training today, and I will give you a new one tomorrow. Good. Then, Son Gohan's training on Champa began. Under Vados' high-intensity training, Son Gohan's strength, which had been stagnant for more than 3 months, began to improve by leaps and bounds. Time flies, spring goes and autumn comes again. In a blink of an eye, more than 2 years have passed. Today's Son Gohan, compared to when he first came here, has grown exponentially in strength. Son Gohan's strength improved so fast that even Champa and Vados were a little dumbfounded. Now Son Gohan's normal combat power is already calculated in units of Beijing. And in the past 2 years, Son Gohan has successively broken through Super Saiyan and Super Blue. And finally Beast form. Seeing Son Gohan's talent and understanding is so high, Vados thought about teaching Son Gohan Ultra Instinct. At first, Vados thought that even if Son Gohan's talent and comprehension were frighteningly high, facing the Ultra Instinct that was difficult to master even if it destroyed Shendu, he should feel quite a headache. Result: under the guidance of Vados, Son Gohan fully grasped the essence of Ultra Instinct in just half a month. This makes Champa, who has not been able to learn Ultra Instinct for a long time, call science fiction. Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. But the facts were before his eyes, and Champa had to admit that Son Gohan had indeed fully mastered Ultra Instinct in only half a month. After learning Ultra Instinct, it took Son Gohan half a month to comprehend the move of Gods of Destruction. In Chaoli Vegeta's words, it is self-intentional power. While Vados was shocked, he also felt extremely excited. She has never seen such a peerless genius in hundreds of millions of years. It is a bit overkill for Son Gohan to practice like this and let him become Gods of Destruction. He should be the big Gods of Destruction. Big Gods of Destruction. That is a priesthood on the same level as the Grand Priest. Of course, to be the Grand Gods of Destruction, although the strength will not reach the level of the Grand Priest, at least it must surpass the level of Angel. Otherwise, it would be difficult to suppress the Gods of Destruction of the 12 universes. Of course, it's still too early to say these things. According to Vados' prediction, Son Gohan's current strength should be on par with Champa, or even surpassed. For more than 2 years, Son Gohan, in addition to practicing with Vados on Champa, occasionally took time to return to Earth to accompany Bulma. Bulma has the existence of unlimited instant transmission, and it is only a matter of minutes for him to return to the Earth of the 7th universe. Cultivation belongs to cultivation, and one's own woman should not be too neglected. This day, Son Gohan woke up early as usual. After more than 2 years of training and strength improvement, the overall temperament of Son Gohan today is not comparable to his 2 years ago. The current Son Gohan has an invisible aura that is as sharp as the tip of a needle, and his pair of dark pupils are even more sharp like an eagle, showing his sharp edge. Even the height has grown a few centimeters. Son Gohan, who was only about 1.75 meters 2 years ago, is now nearly 180. You know, the adult Son Gohan in the original book is only around 176 in height. So now Son Gohan, who is nearly 180, coupled with that fierce temperament, gives people a strong sense of security. It seems that this body can block all the storms in the world. Mr. Gohan. Just as Son Gohan stepped out of the room and stretched his waist, Vados suddenly came to him and said with a smile, "I don't practice today, Master Champa wants to eat a kind of dinosaur egg on Terra today, please go and get it." Son Gohan nodded. "I was able to get to where I am now in just over 2 years. Although most of it is due to Vados, there are also some reasons for Champa. So Son Gohan is more than willing to help Champa with trivial matters such as fetching a few dinosaur eggs. Immediately, Son Gohan closed his eyes, wandered in the sixth universe with his consciousness, and found Terra in just 2 seconds. With a whooping sound, Son Gohan's figure instantly disappeared from Vados' sight. As soon as Son Gohan was on the front foot, Champa stepped out. Master Champa, it's time for us to set off, otherwise we may not be able to catch up. Champa grinned and said enthusiastically, "Hey, I also want to see if Son Gohan can handle him." Immediately, without the slightest delay, Vados and Champa immediately turned into a colorful long rainbow, left Champa Star, and went straight to Terra Star. Terra. This is a large uninhabited planet. The environment and air quality here are beautiful, but because there are many huge creatures living on Terra, normal human beings would not want to settle on such a planet. So Terra has become a paradise for large creatures. All kinds of dinosaurs are the overlord creatures on Terra. Suddenly, there was no human figure on Terra Star, but a human figure suddenly appeared in the sky. It was Son Gohan, who arrived with unlimited instant transmission. Okay, Son Gohan, who had just arrived on Terra and was planning to find a nest of dinosaur eggs, suddenly frowned. Because he felt a strong killing intent. Instantly, a sharp feeling came from behind Son Gohan, pointing directly at his heart. The corner of Son Gohan's mouth raised slightly. "It doesn't seem too good to treat me so warmly when I first came here." While speaking, Son Gohan exploded. Then he turned around abruptly and punched out in the air. Boom! The air directly in front of Son Gohan exploded instantly, and the invisible attack was also resolved. After defusing the first sudden attack, the person hiding in the dark seemed to have no plans to show up. But it doesn't matter. Son Gohan has already guessed who he is. Bang bang bang. In response to Son Gohan, there was only a silent and fierce offensive. A series of invisible attacks came from the forest below. Every attack has pinpointed Son Gohan's vital points. Obviously, the other party came here to take his life. Faced with this invisible and fierce attack, Son Gohan was not afraid, and he threw out several punches in a row, blasting those invisible attacks. Only when the strength crushes your enemy can you play cat and mouse with the opponent. Obviously, the role you play today is not the cat, but the mouse. The words fell. Son Gohan's figure swept away, and he flew straight down to the forest below. At the same time as it swept down, the bright golden energy arrogance burst out from his body, and Son Gohan had already transformed into a super form. Deep in the forest, Wen had noticed Son Gohan's movement and was about to change his position. Call out. In an instant, Son Gohan's figure appeared in front of him like a ghost, and then he raised the corner of his mouth, showing him a playful smile. What? In an instant, Hit's face changed drastically. When Son Gohan appeared in front of him, he just reacted. Hit had no idea how Son Gohan could appear in front of him without making a sound. At this moment, Hit also understood that the target of his assassination today is by no means the ordinary people in the past. Maybe, today will be a tough battle for him. Boom. In the blink of an eye, Son Gohan's punch has come. In desperation, Hit could only cross his arms across his chest to resist Son Gohan's powerful blow. Even though Hit resisted with his arms, the terrifying force from Son Gohan's fist still sent Hit flying. Rumble. Hit retreated all the way, and all the towering trees along the way fell down one after another. After finally slowing down, Son Gohan followed him like a shadow, and attacked him again. However, Hit's reputation as the #1 killer of the universe is by no means in vain. He reacted quickly, used his flash time skills, and launched a counterattack against Son Gohan while he was attacking. In an instant, like a flash, Hit's figure shifted from directly in front of Son Gohan to directly behind him. And just as his concentrated blow was about to land on the back of Son Gohan's neck, puff! Son Gohan's fist suddenly slammed into his lower abdomen from his back to him. After being hit hard by this, Hit's face could no longer remain calm, and gradually became ferocious. His pupils constricted, and he looked in disbelief at the calm and confident handsome face in front of him with a faint smile. Flash time skill, right. Son Gohan showed a row of white teeth, and said mercilessly, "It's okay to use it against others, but this kind of trick is useless in front of me." As a time traveler, Son Gohan was already familiar with Hit's flash skills. Moreover, when the strength gap between the two sides is too large, the flash time skill will lose its effect. Obviously, Son Gohan, whose normal combat power reached 7,000 capitals, completely crushed Hit after he transformed into Super 1. Heard the words. As soon as Hit gritted his teeth, he immediately stopped using the flash time power. Because he knows, what Son Gohan said is true. So this time, he chose to use the flash time space. Flash time space is a derivative technique of flash time kung fu. Since Hit can store the time after each flash time, and then use these times to create space, he himself can move freely in the flash time space. In reality, it will leave his phantom to confuse the enemy. After entering the flash time space, Son Gohan stopped all actions from Hit's perspective. Later, Hit originally planned to move behind Son Gohan in the flash time space, but with his master, he can definitely guess it. So, after thinking for a few tenths of a microsecond, Hit made a decisive decision and chose the left side of Son Gohan. Generally speaking, normal people are accustomed to using the right hand, and when Son Gohan attacked just now, the dominant hand was also the right hand, so the clumsy left hand became Hit's best choice. Therefore, the moment he moved to the left of Son Gohan, Hit immediately withdrew from the flash time space and attacked Son Gohan with a thunderous force. Boom! A heavy muffled sound followed. But it was not Son Gohan who was attacked, but Hit. Hit's pupils constricted again after being hit hard again, and he looked down slightly, only to see an elbow from Son Gohan's left hand, which sank deeply into his chest. The terrifying power contained in this blow made Hit's throat sweet, and a smear of blood slid down the corner of his mouth. At this time, Son Gohan's mouth was filled with a faint arc of confidence, and he said, "You just entered the flash time space, and what stood in front of me just now was just your phantom left. In reality, I'm right." Quote. Heard the words. Hit's pupils instantly experienced a major earthquake. Looking at Son Gohan again, his eyes were already covered with a thick color of fear. The man in front of him is stronger than he imagined. Are you surprised? In fact, there is nothing to be surprised about. When the strength gap between the two sides in the war is too large, all the moves and methods are all tricks and tricks, which look good but don't work. Son Gohan is right. When the gap in strength is too large, all means and moves will be gimmicky. Immediately, Son Gohan withdrew his elbow and kicked Hit in the chin just as he was about to fall to the ground. Wow! Hit screamed and flew out immediately. After flying several laps along Terra Star, it slammed into a mountain peak in the distance. Rumble. Following Hit's smash, the 10,000-meter-high mountain collapsed. Countless gravels continued to fall, and the large creatures that originally lived in the forest were frightened and began to flee in all directions. On the sky, Hyder has no power to parry. Looking at the mountain that was producing huge movements, Champa was slightly surprised. Vados seemed relatively calm, and said slowly, "This is normal. As the number one assassin in the universe, Hit is certainly strong in strength and assassination methods, but the gap between him and Mr. Gohan is too great. So the defeat was within my expectations. This one. Son Gohan just turned into Super 1. He has never used Super 2, Super Saiyan, Super Blue or even the Beast form. Not to mention the double freedom. With such a disparity in strength, Hit won the first place. So from the very beginning, Vados knew that this was a battle and a test without any suspense. Call out. At this time, Son Gohan came up from the forest. The arrival of Vados and Champa seems to be expected by Son Gohan. He lacked interest and said, "Vados, even if you want to test me, at least find a stronger opponent. This so-called number one killer in the universe is really boring. In fact, when I first arrived on Terra, I realized the moment of danger." Son Gohan knew that the real purpose of Vados asking him to come to Terra was not to take dinosaur eggs at all, but from the assassination of Hit, the number one killer in the universe. If it were him 2 years ago, he might have been helpless in the face of the universe's number one killer, Hit, but today's Son Gohan is no longer Wuxia Aimon of yesterday. Hit, the number one killer in the universe, is nothing in the eyes of Son Gohan. Vados spread his hands and said, "Actually, that's not what I meant. It's what Master Champa meant. Master Champa said he wanted to see how you are compared to Hit. So I made arrangements. As for the result, I believe Master Champa has seen it all. Hey, Champa grinned and said, Son Gohan, if you haven't had fun playing, how about I come and play with you? Oops. Vados raised her eyebrows slightly. Champa's words to Son Gohan. It seems to be a bit interesting. Oh, Son Gohan also raised his eyebrows with interest. At this time, Champa gave himself a challenge. How could Son Gohan not understand Champa's intention? I'm afraid he wants to show off his majesty as gods of destruction. Ding. At the same time, the system's electronic notification tone sounded in Son Gohan's mind. Received a challenge from the 6th Universe Gods of Destruction Champa, the combat mission is triggered. Defeat the 6th Universe Gods of Destruction Champa, task completion reward, immortal body. Hey, hearing the combat mission issued by the system, the corner of Son Gohan's mouth twitched. Immortal. This reward is not bad. With immortality, Son Gohan no longer needs to fear any gods of destruction, except Xeno's clearance. Immediately, Son Gohan raised his eyelids slightly, and said, since Mr. Champa has such leisure and elegance, I would be happy to accompany him. Seeing Son Gohan accepting his own challenge, Champa couldn't help but twitched slightly. Beforehand, I won't show mercy. Going all out is the greatest respect for the enemy and the opponent. The voice fell. A vast and endless terrifying atmosphere like the universe, like an ancient dragon that has been sleeping for hundreds of millions of years, is slowly waking up. Rumble. At this moment, the ground, the sky, and even the entire planet Terra began to vibrate violently at this moment. Champa also displayed his terrifying aura as the 6th Universe Gods of Destruction. Instantly, the sky of Terra Star, which was originally sunny and cloudless, was suddenly covered with dark clouds. The whole world gradually became dark. A depressing atmosphere enveloped the whole world. All the large creatures on Terra were so frightened that they crawled on the ground and shivered. Immediately afterwards, Son Gohan and Champa both ascended to an altitude of 10,000 meters. The next moment, bright blue-golden energy flames erupted from Son Gohan's body. This moment, Son Gohan's chi also turned into the chi of God. Crackling. The battle between Son Gohan and Champa has not yet started, the world has already begun to change, and thunderbolts are constantly flashing from the thunderclouds. Between heaven and earth, there was a strong wind, flying sand and rocks. Tread. Vados fell to the top of a mountain. At this time, Hit has also slowed down a little. He flew to Vados, and looked up at the blue figure in the sky that was confronting Champa. Shen Sheng said, so this is his real strength. Hit was completely convinced when he saw Super Blue Son Gohan. Because the power of Super Blue Son Gohan and Super One Son Gohan just now are not in the same order of magnitude at all. Just now Son Gohan kept his hand. If not, he might not be Son Gohan's one-of-a-kind general. No, however, Vados shook his head, if you think this is the real strength of Mr. Son Gohan, then you are very wrong, Hit. It's far from his full strength. Vados' faint voice, like a heavy bomb, exploded in Hit's ear. What? Hearing this, Hit's pupils constricted and his mind was shocked. This is far from Son Gohan's full strength. Doesn't that mean? Is Son Gohan's strength enough to rival gods of destruction? How is this possible? At least in Hit's cognition, this is absolutely impossible. Son Gohan looked like he was only in his early 20s, how could a human being at this age have such a powerful force that could rival gods of destruction? Although Hit is the #1 killer in the universe, he is very powerful. But his real age is already over 1,000 years old. Vados smiled meaningfully, and said, look, Mr. Son Gohan was taught by me personally. He is the most talented and savvy student I have ever taught. Heard the words, Hit's mouth was slightly opened. Although he didn't speak, there was already a storm in his heart. To be able to get such a high evaluation from Angel Vados, it shows that Son Gohan is by no means an ordinary genius. Now, Hit had just deeply realized what kind of monster he had just assassinated. Now he can still stand here alive and kicking, thanks to Son Gohan's mercy. At the same time, the sky of Terra Star has turned into two colors of blue and purple black, which are clearly distinct. Hey, Son Gohan, I haven't done anything for a long time, I hope you don't disappoint me. Champa was surrounded by purple-black energy flames. Waves of destruction emanated from the purple-black energy flame. The surrounding space gradually became distorted. Son Gohan raised his mouth and said excitedly, this battle should be the most intense battle I have ever had, but Master Champa, I will defeat you. Facing gods of destruction Champa, Son Gohan's militant factor belonging to Saiyan was jumping for joy. He longs for a tense and intense battle. This is the inherent nature of the fighting nation Saiyan. Even though Son Gohan is a mixed-race Saiyan, he still has this nature. Champa shook his index finger, snorted and said, "You are not qualified enough to defeat me. You can shoot whatever you want, no matter what Super Saiyan Blue or Beast form is." This is where Champa comes from his confidence as gods of destruction. The gods of destruction are the battle ceilings in a universe and the supreme gods who rule their respective universes. No matter what kind of human beings, it is absolutely impossible to surpass gods of destruction. Speak so full of words, be careful if you don't take it back later, you will lose your hair. Finished talking, Son Gohan tapped the void with his toes, and suddenly flew out. Earth, Southern Town. On the streets of the town, two people wearing RR logo clothes appeared. Among them, the older man is obviously the veteran of the Red Ribbon Legion, and also the core figure who controls the entire army of the Red Ribbon Legion. One of the best scientists on Earth, Dr. J. Luo. The big fat man next to Dr. Griot is the artificial man number 19, which was researched by Dr. Griot for many years. Moreover, today's Dr. Glue, in order to obtain eternal life, he even transformed himself into an artificial human. Call out. Suddenly, a maglev flying car galloped past Dr. J. Luo and No. 19. Number 19 gave an evil smile, and then a beam of eyes shot out, knocking Yakilob, who was riding in the flying car, to the ground. Immediately afterwards, the massacre began. Dr. J. Luo took the robot number 19 and started killing in the small town of Nandu. For a moment, the entire Nandu town was raging with flames and billowing gunpowder smoke, and screams could be heard endlessly. People ran for their lives in terror, and the whole town fell into extreme chaos. As the instigators of all this, Dr. J. Luo and number 19 looked at this difficult town like a purgatory on Earth with mockery. Soon after Dr. J. Luo and number 19 attacked the town of Nandu, they attracted the attention of Son Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo and others. Immediately, the Earth Z fighters headed by Son Goku headed to the small town of Nandu immediately. When Son Goku and others went to the town of Nandu to look for Dr. J. Luo and the 19th robot. 6th Universe, Terra Star. Son Gohan in the Super Blue form has arrived with an aura as vast as the starry sky. That punch, which contained enough power to destroy the universe, blasted towards Champa head-on. "Hey, I'm not afraid of you." Champa was not afraid at all, and immediately clenched his claws into a fist, and blasted out the fist surrounded by purple-black energy flames. Next breath, two fists containing extreme terrifying power, like sparks hitting the earth. Under the watchful eyes of Vados and meet with a bang. Boom! The moment the two fists met, the whole world shook violently at this moment. An invisible shock wave rippled out like ripples. At the junction of the two fists, the blue and purple-black energy flames are facing each other, eroding each other. After a few seconds, at the end of the confrontation, both Son Gohan and Champa were knocked back thousands of meters by a counter-shock force before they managed to stabilize their figures. Happy. Just a round of confrontation with Champa made the blood in Son Gohan start to boil. Gods of destruction, this is the opponent he longs for. Son Gohan prefers to fight against evenly matched opponents rather than abuse. Immediately, Son Gohan exploded, skimmed higher into the sky, and then swooped down suddenly. See, Champa raised his paws, pointed at the diving Son Gohan from a distance, and shouted, "Destroy! Destroy!" Almost at the same time, Son Gohan also sent out a destruction in the cloak of destructive power. Boom, boom. Two violent explosions resounded from the air between Son Gohan and Champa. Next second, Champa was horrified to see that a figure surrounded by blue energy flames had penetrated the billowing smoke and rushed straight towards him. Hey! When Son Gohan rushed in front of him, Champa forced a smile and then punched again. Just when Champa thought that his punch was bound to hit, Son Gohan made a slight jump in his body in time at the critical moment, avoiding his punch with a slight gap. Then, boom! With a heavy punch, Son Gohan slammed into Champa's face with overwhelming momentum. After being hit by this blow, Champa immediately fell from the sky at a 45-degree angle like a meteorite, smashing a big hole in the forest below. So strong. Hit, who witnessed Son Gohan shooting Champa down with his own eyes, couldn't help but exclaimed. You know, that's Gods of Destruction Champa. However, Son Gohan only played against him for a few rounds, and he gained the advantage. Vados smiled meaningfully. As I expected, in terms of strength, Master Champa's state is not inferior to Son Gohan in the blue form of Super Saiyan, but Master Champa's martial arts. It's been deserted for a long time, just look at Master Champa's figure, you should be able to understand. Yes, this is Champa's own Achilles heel. Due to the neglect of martial arts for many years, coupled with his bloated figure, Champa can only compete with others in terms of strength. If you compete in martial arts with an opponent of similar strength, Champa will definitely lose. Obviously, Son Gohan belongs to such a role. He is not only strong. It is also rich in combat skills and combat experience. Therefore, if Champa wants to use martial arts to decide the outcome with Son Gohan, the result will only end in his defeat. And as Gods of Destruction, Champa, how could he tolerate losing to a human? As expected, as soon as Vados finished speaking, a monstrous purple-black energy flame erupted from the forest below. Turn all the forests within 1,000 miles into ashes. Champa lifted off slowly, and on his right face, there was still a bloodstain visible to the naked eye. Obviously, this is left over from Son Gohan's punch just now. After being punched first by Son Gohan, Champa's face was also a little uncomfortable. His eyelids twitched fiercely, and then he pretended to be calm and said, "Don't be complacent, the real battle begins now." Then, Champa sticks out his right hand. Rumble. The earth began to tremble violently at this moment. Son Gohan looked back and saw that the ground below was pulled up by Champa forcibly, and then smashed towards him like an asteroid. But Champa's goal is obviously not to hit Son Gohan directly, but destroy. Champa yelled loudly when the lifted earth slammed down towards Son Gohan. Boom. The piece of land comparable to an asteroid exploded instantly. The violent shock wave generated by the explosion swept over. So you can't dodge with Ultra Instinct. Champa grinned. Ultra Instinct can indeed rely on various parts of the body to judge any danger from the surrounding environment, and then respond accordingly in advance. But how do you hide from a large-scale explosion? And the power of this explosion is quite impressive. Even Son Gohan in Super Blue form, it shouldn't be too hard to get hit by this. Although Champa is the most powerful existence among Gods of Destruction, but in the final analysis, he is also Gods of Destruction. Ultra Instinct can't hide, then use instant transmission. Just when Champa was about to watch Son Gohan make an embarrassment, Son Gohan's voice suddenly sounded from behind him. Instantly, a chill came from behind, causing Champa to shiver for no reason. Boom. As soon as Son Gohan finished speaking, Champa felt a heavy blow to his neck. Son Gohan's kick directly kicked Champa around for a while. Son Gohan also secretly wiped a cold sweat. If he had slowed down by a few tenths of a second in instant transmission, he would have at least been seriously injured now. In the Super Blue form, it is still a bit difficult for him to withstand such attacks. After all, no matter how weak Champa is, it is Gods of Destruction. Not to mention that the explosion just now was an explosion dressed in destructive power. If you are blown up for a while without a good defense, you will have to peel off your skin if you don't die. Oh, it's instant transmission. I didn't expect this skill to be useful in battle. Vados was slightly surprised to be able to react quickly in such a short period of time and to counter Champa. I have to say that Son Gohan has indeed grown a lot in the past 2 years of training. As for this instant transmission, Vados thought it was a skill that Son Gohan used to hurry, but he didn't expect it to be useful in battle. This came as a surprise to Vados. Next, Son Gohan no longer gave Champa any chance to use destroy, and directly launched a fierce and intensive attack on him. Champa, who is bloated and slow in his own reaction and speed, was defeated by Son Gohan's rain-like attacks. As the battle goes on, Champa's physical strength is gradually exhausted. After the physical strength is quickly consumed, it will be difficult for Champa to parry Son Gohan's attack. If Champa doesn't make changes, it's only a matter of time before he loses. Master Champa is about to lose. The venomous hit also saw it. Although the battle between the two is still fierce, Champa is always in a passive situation. And the defense has begun to show fatigue. So what kind of target did he assassinate today? From this moment on, the name Son Gohan has been blacklisted by Hitler. If anyone comes to hire him to assassinate Son Gohan in the future, he will not dare to accept the order anyway. Bang bang bang. Finally, Champa's defense line was completely defeated by Son Gohan, and he could only be reduced to a passive situation. As if in the blink of an eye, Champa's face turned blue and purple, as if he had been beaten into a pig's head. This scene, Vados and Hit couldn't bear to watch it anymore. The dignified 6th universe gods of destruction is a bit too miserable. Bang bang bang. Feeling that Son Gohan greeted him with punches and punches, Champa's inner anger began to soar rapidly. Some moment, Champa's anger level was full, and it erupted like a volcanic eruption. Drink. A deafening roar resounded through the world. The raging purple-black energy flame erupted from Champa's body, and his aura underwent a qualitative change at this moment. Son Gohan, who was attacking, was also knocked back on the spot. After being knocked back several hundred meters, Son Gohan stabilized his figure. When he looked at Champa again, he couldn't help feeling a sense of fear in his heart. At this time, Champa was once again surrounded by purple-black energy flames, and the fluctuations emanating from them were several grades stronger than before. At this time, Champa, although his nose was bruised and his face was swollen, his eyes and aura became extremely terrifying. That kind of fierce eyes, like the god of death from hell, makes people shudder. Yes, this is exactly what Champa really looks like as gods of destruction. In the fight with Son Gohan just now, he didn't show his real strength. Although Son Gohan is too. But the battle between Son Gohan and Champa just now was nothing more than a duel. But Champa also didn't expect that he would be beaten helplessly by Son Gohan. Therefore, Champa, who was in a state of desperation, could no longer bear this kind of humiliation. He was the gods of destruction, and he must not lose to a human being. Otherwise, how would he hold his head up in front of other gods of destruction in the future? His nemesis Beerus alone would have laughed at him for 18 million years about it. By that time, he, Champa, might really be nailed to the pillar of shame of gods of destruction, and will be laughed at for thousands of years. I'm really angry. Champa's terrifying eyes glared at Son Gohan with anger, and said coldly, Son Gohan, show your full strength. As gods of destruction, I will never lose to humans. Now Champa can't care so much. No matter what, he must win this battle to save his face as gods of destruction. Otherwise, as the gods of destruction, he actually lost to a human being. If it gets out, where will his Champa face be? Son Gohan was taken aback. Then he grinned and said excitedly, just right, I also want to see how big the gap is between me and Mr. Champa. In that case, who? Son Gohan took a deep breath, immediately lifted the super blue, and returned to normal. After a second, Son Gohan's short broken hair began to rise automatically without wind. The world seemed to have become quiet at this moment. That feeling was like the calm before the storm. What is coming will be a crazy storm. Next second. Drink. A very penetrating deep drinking sound came from Son Gohan's mouth, resounding through the world. Earth. No, it was the entire planet Terra that began to vibrate violently at this moment. Son Gohan's chi soared geometrically at this moment. Scoff. Scoff. As Son Gohan's aura continued to soar, violent red lightning began to dance around Son Gohan's body. The originally peaceful world gradually became violent at this moment. Immediately afterwards, under the watchful eyes of Vados, Champa and Hit, Son Gohan's black hair instantly turned into silver, and then grew longer at a speed visible to the naked eye. His deep black pupils also turned red with the blink of Son Gohan's eyelids. Immediately, a purple-silver energy flame with red lightning burst out. It was also at this moment that Son Gohan's aura reached a whole new level. Yes, this form is Son Gohan's current strongest form. It transformed again. It's unimaginably powerful. Looking at the handsome and domineering figure in the sky, Hit could no longer suppress the shock in his heart and let out a voice of horror. Even Hit, under the indescribably powerful aura of Son Gohan, he only feels that his strength is like a drop in the ocean. That feeling, like an insurmountable mountain lying in front of him, made Hit despair. Vados raised his red lips slightly. According to what Mr. Son Gohan himself said, he called this transformation form beast form. Crackling, violent thunderbolts slashed down from the thundercloud angrily, igniting the forest below. The burning forest, the thousands of large creatures fleeing in a hurry, plus the dark sky covered with dark clouds, and the oppressive atmosphere shrouded in the sky and the earth, outlined a doomsday scene. In the dark and gloomy sky, Son Gohan in beast form, opposite gods of destruction Champa. Showing his sharpness, he stared at the gloomy and terrifying four eyes, causing the air between the heaven and the earth to be filled with a strong smell of gunpowder. This moment, although Champa has released all his destructive power, his physical strength is not enough to support him in another fierce battle with Son Gohan. Therefore, he must win with one move. Otherwise, if the fight continues as before, if he can't win quickly, he will still be the one who loses in the end. And Champa couldn't accept his defeat. So, Master Champa wants to win with one move. Vados read Champa's inner thoughts. Of course. With Champa's current meager physical strength, he can only do so. In this way, it's really hard to say who will win and lose in this battle of the century in the 6th universe. Now even Vados can't predict the final outcome of this summit match. As expected, Son Gohan, let's make a move to decide the outcome. As Vados guessed, Champa really wanted to fight Son Gohan to decide the outcome. Bring it on. Son Gohan's heart was surging and his fighting spirit was high. He also knew that Champa's physical strength was almost exhausted, and if he fought as he did just now, he would definitely be able to win. But this is obviously not the way Son Gohan wants to win. He wants to defeat Champa head-on. He is also confident that he can do this. Next second, raging, I saw Champa's right hand raised high above his head, and the monstrous flames of destructive energy exuded destructive fluctuations, erupting instantly like a volcanic eruption. The terrifying flames of destructive energy sublimated the thick thunderclouds in the sky into nothingness. Immediately, under the gaze of the three of Son Gohan, the monstrous flame of destructive energy suddenly shrank towards a central point. An energy bullet with a diameter of over 1,000 meters and containing unparalleled destructive energy was formed. From the constantly distorted space around the destructive energy bomb, one can get a glimpse of how terrifying the energy contained in it has reached. Looking up at the destructive energy bomb that seemed to cover the sky and the sun, Hit's face became extremely solemn. He has no doubt that if this destructive energy bomb explodes, the entire 6th universe will probably be wiped out in an instant. Vados also gripped Angel's staff slightly. If something goes wrong in the slightest, she will take action immediately. In Vados' eyes, the safety of the 6th universe is far more important than the outcome of this battle. Call, midair, Son Gohan took a deep breath, and then blinked his eyelids, and the red pupils burst out with a sharp light like a blade. Immediately, Son Gohan reached out with one hand and grabbed it in the air. A sword of energy formed entirely of energy gradually took shape with the movement of Son Gohan's arm. From the perspective of Vados and Hit, this energy sword seems to have been pulled out of the void by Son Gohan. The energy sword is 7 feet long, and it emits purple energy light. On the edge of the sword, there is an incomparably fierce sword intent. Yes, this energy sword is exactly the dimensional sword used to launch the dimensional slash. Son Gohan lightly waved the dimensional sword in his hand, and made a gesture of preparing to chop. Wherever it passes along the way, under the sharp edge of the sword of the dimension, the space along the way is cut with a dark and deep small space crack. It heralds the incomparable sharpness of the sword of the dimension. That sword is not simple. Hit narrowed his eyes dangerously, and on the dimensional sword in Son Gohan's hand, even though he was far away, he felt a strong breath of death. If hit by this sword, Hit has no doubt that he will die without a place to bury him. What a monster. Now it seems, he, the universe's #1 killer, is nothing but a drop in the ocean in front of Son Gohan. If Son Gohan really wanted to kill him, it would be as easy as trampling an ant to death. There is an insurmountable gap between him and Son Gohan. I'm afraid, Master Champa is going to fall on this mysterious energy sword. Vados' vermilion lips raised slightly. Just now she was not quite sure about the final outcome of this battle. But when Son Gohan cast the Sword of Dimension, Vados almost dared to sentence Champa to death. Because of that dimensional sword, even she felt a sense of danger. In the past 2 years, Son Gohan had never cast the dimensional sword in front of her, so when Son Gohan cast it, Vados couldn't help feeling a little bit of surprise. Master Champa, come on, let's decide the winner. Son Gohan raised his head and chest, fighting with high spirits. I am the gods of destruction. Champa shouted imposingly. I will never lose to humans. Immediately, a flash of determination to win flashed in Champa's gloomy and terrifying eyes, and then he suddenly swung his raised right hand down. Boom, click, click. The destructive energy bomb brought purple arcs of lightning out in response, and the space along the way began to collapse inch by inch. Pieces of space debris fell down like broken mirrors. It left behind a huge dark and deep space crack, which was shocking. Deep in the crack, I don't know where it leads. When the destructive energy bullet bombarded itself, Son Gohan gripped the hilt of his sword with one hand and held it high above his head. Then, dimensional slash, hum. At the same time as the dimensional sword swung down suddenly, a sword light emitting lavender light broke away from the dimensional sword. The lavender sword light rushed out rapidly, and the space was cut off. From the ground, it seems that the sky has been split, which is very visually impactful. Call out. The lavender sword light cut off the space along the way with an unstoppable momentum. After 2 seconds, the shocking encounter between the lavender sword light and the destructive energy bomb. The moment we met, there weren't any earth-shattering explosions. Under Champa's shocked eyes, his destructive energy bomb that gathered all the power was cut open by the lavender sword light like tofu. Impossible. At this moment, a look of horror finally appeared on Champa's face. The lavender sword light is like the sharpest blade in the world, after cutting Champa's destructive energy bomb in half with a devastating force. Castrate unabated, he slashed his head in the direction where Champa was. And Champa, for a while, lost his ability to think because of the extreme shock and panic in his heart. He froze on the spot in a daze, as if he didn't know that the scythe of death was about to come. Just when the lavender sword light was about to fall on Champa's celestial spirit cover. Let's stop here. A pleasant voice suddenly sounded, and an angel staff appeared, eliminating Son Gohan's invincible dimensional chop that seemed to be able to cut off everything in the world. After saving Champa, Vados waved the angel staff again. The destructive energy bomb that was cut in half was also eliminated. Until this moment, the heaven and earth of Terra Star returned to peace. And at this time, Son Gohan also returned to normal. Feeling the warm sunshine pouring down on his face again, Son Gohan had a sunny smile on his face. After all, he won the battle with Champa. Ding! Congratulations to the host for defeating the 6th Universe Gods of Destruction Champa and getting the reward for completing the combat mission, Immortal Body. The immortal body has been fusion. The sound of the system sounded in his mind, and Son Gohan immediately felt an inexplicable energy suddenly appear deep in his body. As if for a brief moment, this inexplicable sacred energy merged into his meridians, blood, and limbs. Returning to reality from the Ghost Gate, Champa's ears were deaf and his face was downcast. Although he was reluctant to admit it, if Vados hadn't made a timely move just now, he would have been split in half by Son Gohan's dimensional slash. How can you still stand here alive and kicking? In this battle, Champa lost, so he can't accept it. But on the surface, Champa will not admit defeat. After settling down Champa, Vados looked at Son Gohan and said, Mr. Son Gohan, congratulations that you have surpassed Master Champa. At first Vados wasn't sure if Son Gohan had surpassed Champa. But after the battle just now, she can finally be sure. After 2 years of special training, Son Gohan has truly surpassed Champa. In just 2 years, it surpassed Gods of Destruction. This is the most outstanding student that Vados has taught for countless years, bar none. Son Gohan smiled noncommittally, and said, it's better that you are a good teacher, Miss Vados. Without you as a song teacher, I, Son Gohan, would be nothing. PFF'd. Vados was amused. Why didn't she see before that Son Gohan has a talent for humor? However, although Son Gohan's flattery made Vados feel a little comfortable. Although flattering, what Son Gohan said is true. Without the teaching of Vados, it is absolutely impossible for him to achieve the current achievement if he is allowed to practice alone for 2 years. So, in the high-intensity special training in the past 2 years, Son Gohan's extremely high talent and excellent comprehension, and even 100 times the speed of practice are very important. But Vados, the teacher, also played a role that cannot be ignored. Master Champa, are you convinced now? At this moment, Vados did not forget to hit Champa. TCH, I'm not convinced. It was just my negligence just now. If I do it again, I may not necessarily lose. Although the battle was lost, Champa's mouth was not lost, and it was still as hard as ever. But Champa's hard-spoken words made Son Gohan and Vados burst into laughter. After Vados used the angel staff to heal Champa's injuries, the three of them returned to Champa. Hit, on the other hand, was also busy with his own affairs. In front of the palace of gods of destruction, Champa sat alone under the tree, still seemed to be sulking. Not far away, Vados shook his head helplessly, then turned his head and asked, Mr. Gohan, what do you plan to do next? Do you want to stay here and practice with me? Son Gohan looked at Champa's sulking back, shook his head and said, if I continue to stay here in the future, I'm afraid it will only hinder Lord Champa's eyes. In that case, let's end our practice here. Paused. Son Gohan withdrew his gaze, looked at Vados's exquisite and beautiful face, and said, Vados, I have caused trouble for you and Master Champa in the past 2 years, and I am very grateful for your careful teaching in the past 2 years. Still the same sentence, without you, I, Son Gohan, am nothing. Vados covered his mouth with a light smile and said, Mr. Gohan is very humble. Without my teaching, with your own extremely high talent and comprehension, you can achieve some achievements by yourself. I just added the icing on the cake. It just works. After the business exchange was over, both of them laughed at the same time. Well, since that's the case. Son Gohan adjusted his thoughts slightly, and said, then I will end my practice here. I wonder if I can fulfill a little wish of mine before I leave, Vados. What wish? Please tell me, Mr. Gohan. Vados waved his hand. I've stayed here for more than 2 years, and basically never went out, so before I leave, can Ms. Vados take me out to enjoy the scenery of the 6th universe? Just the two of us. Son Gohan extended an invitation to Vados. It's really a small wish, but if it's just like this, it's completely fine. Vados agreed almost without thinking. Rather than enjoying the scenery of the 6th universe, it is more appropriate to say that Son Gohan wants to invite Vados to have one last meal. There is nothing to do in the 6th universe. Son Gohan just found an excuse to say goodbye to Vados in a place where there is no Champa. The two came to Tiangongsheng to have a big meal, and Vados was about to take Son Gohan to various planets in the 6th universe. At this time, Son Gohan suddenly said, okay, come here, I won't waste your time. Hey, aren't you going shopping? Vados raised an eyebrow suspiciously. Son Gohan smiled and shook his head, when you are free next time, you can take me to the 6th universe. Vados pondered for a moment, nodded and said, okay, then I look forward to your next visit. One more thing, Mr. Gohan. You are the best student I have ever taught. Before I leave, let me give you some gifts as a souvenir. What souvenir do you want? Can I choose by myself? Son Gohan pointed to himself, not sure. He thought that Vados wanted to give him a souvenir, and she chose it herself, but according to what Vados said, she seemed to want him to choose. Vados nodded, confirming Son Gohan's guess. As long as I can give you, I can satisfy you. Vados then added. Send it. Son Gohan stroked his chin, thinking for a moment. Then his eyes fell directly on the high ponytail on Vados' head. Sensing Son Gohan's gaze, Vados pointed to his ponytail, and a big black question mark popped up on his delicate pretty face. That expression seemed to be asking, don't you want this thing? Son Gohan laughed and said, I don't want anything, but your ponytail is cute, so. Heard the words. Vados rolled his eyes involuntarily. Now she is a little suspicious of Son Gohan's real purpose for wanting her ponytail. Is it really as simple as taking it as a souvenir? And, more importantly, hair means a lot to a woman, even if Vados is an angel. As for Son Gohan's request for this souvenir, Vados was also unexpected. You said it's not good for you to order something, but I have to ask for my ponytail. That what? Seeing Vados' face showing embarrassment, Son Gohan quickly said, I also know the importance of hair to a woman. If it doesn't work, then I'll change it. Since Vados is unwilling, Son Gohan doesn't want to hold on to his ponytail any longer. However, Vados smiled helplessly, and said dotingly, "That's not necessary. In view of your outstanding performance, today I will make an exception and give you my ponytail as a souvenir." "Say it." Vados waved the angel staff lightly, and the long white ponytail on her head snapped off. Then Vados kept moving, waved the angel staff again, and a brand new ponytail grew back. After finishing all this, Vados handed the original ponytail to Son Gohan. "Although I can change my hair back, the ones I gave you are my original hair. Since you want it, I'll give it to you as a souvenir. Just pet him." If Champa sees this scene, must he vomit 3 liters of blood on the spot? When have you ever had such treatment? When did my own guide angel, master and housekeeper Vados treat me so well? If Vados can hold back from taunting and teasing him a few times a month, that's pretty good for him. Sending yourself a ponytail that almost counts as your life as a souvenir like now. Isn't this a fool like a plot in a sci-fi movie? Looking at the white ponytail exuding a faint fragrance in his hand, Son Gohan was stunned for a moment. Although he was caught off guard, Son Gohan was extremely happy in his heart at this time. Originally, when he proposed this souvenir, he didn't have much hope, but Vados really gave it to him. It seems that I still underestimated how much Vados spoiled me. Now, Son Gohan finally experienced the happiness of a schoolmaster being pampered by his teacher. How to say this feeling? Happy. Seeing Son Gohan smile, Vados also smiled touchingly, saying, "Gohan, then don't live here, I won't waste your time, I will be free in the future, welcome to the 6th universe as a guest. In addition, if you don't understand anything about practice, you can ask me anytime. And my ponytail, I hope you can keep it well." Son Gohan nodded solemnly, and said with a smile, "I will, then I'll go." Etc. Son Gohan was about to return to Earth with an unlimited instant transmission when Vados stopped him suddenly. "Anything else?" Son Gohan asked. Vados nodded and said, "I just remembered, there is one more thing about the candidate for the 6th universe Gods of Destruction. I hope you can think about it after you go back. If you have an answer, remember to tell me, I can wait you." Although Son Gohan doesn't have much interest in being Gods of Destruction. But seeing how concerned Vados is, he can't directly say that he has no interest in Gods of Destruction, so he can only accept it first. After all, what Vados said was to let himself go back and think about it, not that he must be a candidate for Gods of Destruction in the 6th universe. Earth. Dr. J. Luo's laboratory is located in the mountains. Mid-air, Son Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Keelan and others looked nervously at the entrance to the research room. Soon, 3 figures walked out of the hole of the research room side by side and appeared in the sight of Son Goku and others. These 3 are the artificial humans number 17, number 18 and number 16 created by Dr. J. Luo in order to avenge Son Goku. Previously, Dr. J. Luo was cut off his left hand because he lost to Piccolo, and then hurriedly returned to the research room and released the androids number 17 and no. 18. After androids number 17 and number 18 were awakened, the siblings first pretended to obey Dr. G. Luo's orders, and then quickly snatched the remote control of the emergency stop-action device from Dr. G. Luo Bo. Afterwards, Dr. J. Luo, who made them, was brutally killed. After killing Dr. J. Luo and destroying the remote control of the emergency stop-action device, number 17 and number 18 released the sleeping artificial man No. 16. And now there is this scene. Since No. 16, number 17, and number 18 are artificial humans, Son Goku and others cannot perceive their aura, but from them, everyone can feel a dangerous aura. Son Goku just reminded everyone to be careful. Vegeta snorted coldly, and said disdainfully, "HMPH, it's just a few man-made humans. There's nothing to be afraid of. I can turn them into a pile of scrap metal in minutes." After 3 years of training, now Vegeta can not only transform into Super One, but his strength has also skyrocketed. Now he is not convinced by anyone except Son Gohan. Even Son Goku, who is slightly inferior to him, Vegeta doesn't pay much attention to him. The current Vegeta seems to have turned back to the proud and conceited Prince Saiyan. Immediately, Vegeta immediately transformed into Chao Yi, showed his strongest strength, and threatened, "Hey, you scrap copper and iron, your opponent is me, my lord. Let's fight together, this prince will solve you all at once." Vegeta is not in the mood to play with these artificial humans. He just wants to end the battle here quickly, and then go back to practice and catch up with Son Gohan. Listening to Vegeta's extremely arrogant nonsense, number 17 didn't pay attention to him at all. He glanced at number 18 and number 16, and said disapprovingly, "No. 16, number 18, do any of you want to shut up this egomaniac?" Future Time and Space. Exedu, Universal Capsule Company. In the huge yard, an octopus-shaped time machine is parked, and Bulma, wearing a white coat, is undergoing maintenance in the cabin. On the 18th, he was helping out, handing Bulma some tools and checking various data. "Have you found the problem?" Busy from morning till noon, number 18 couldn't help asking. Bulma wiped the sweat from his forehead, and muttered, "I didn't find any problem, it's strange, why can't it start?" "Is it a fuel problem?" Bulma pondered. She was sure that the time machine she had developed was fine, but the time machine couldn't start. Now she checked it all morning and found no faults or internal problems with the time machine. Then there is only one possibility left. Fuel problem. "Is there anything I can do to help?" Hearing Bulma's doubtful voice, number 17, who was helping to take care of the child in the pavilion, asked. At this time, Bulma also got off the time machine. "No need, if it's really a fuel problem, you can't help me, I'll just improve the fuel and try again later." Finished. Bulma looked at the pink and tender baby girl in the stroller next to number 17, and a happy and sweet smile appeared on her charming face. Yes, the baby girl is her daughter with Son Gohan. Bulma named her son Xiaoling. Since Son Gohan left for more than 2 years, Son Xiaoling has been her spiritual sustenance. Looking at Son Xiaoling, Bulma seemed to see the figure of Son Gohan. As for why numbers 17 and 18 are here, then we have to start talking about a month after Son Gohan left. At first, after leaving Bulma's house for a month, number 18 finally couldn't hold back and came to Bulma's house to find Son Gohan. At that time, Bulma did not hide 18th, and told 18th everything truthfully. After learning that Son Gohan is a person from the past time and space, number 18 froze on the spot, thinking that he might never see Son Gohan again. Number 18 suddenly slumped on the ground, as if he had lost his soul. Over the past month, 18 has had to admit, as much as she hates to admit it, that deep down in her heart, she has fallen deeply in love with Son Gohan. Number 18 himself felt very strange. During the more than 2 months in the Universal Capsule Company, Son Gohan treated her very badly, but since Son Gohan released her, lying in bed every night, deep down in her heart, it was as if something very important was missing. Later, number 18 figured it out. This very important thing was that Son Gohan who didn't give her much good looks. Number 18 doesn't know when Son Gohan broke into her heart, but she can be sure that her vitality cannot be without this man. Therefore, number 18 let go of his arrogance and stubbornness, and returned to the Universal Capsule Company to find Son Gohan. Subsequently, Bulma told number 18 that she planned to develop a time machine after giving birth to the child in her stomach, and go back to the past to find Son Gohan. Because Bulma doesn't know when Son Gohan will come to the future again. So, instead of sitting at home and waiting for Son Gohan who doesn't know when he will come back to the future, why not develop a time machine to go back in time? Hearing this news, number 18, who had been depressed before, instantly revived with full blood, and was invited by Bulma to live in her house again. Afterwards, number 17 followed suit. As for no 18's affection for Son Gohan, Bulma is such a smart person, how could he not see it? She couldn't accept it at first. But as time went by, Bulma gradually figured it out. Son Gohan wasn't originally hers either. It belonged to her in the past. So strictly speaking, she is also a third party. So there is no need to worry about who is the third party. As long as Son Gohan and her past self can accept number 18, she naturally has no objections. Take back your mind. Bulma told number 17 to help take Son Xiaoling, while he plunged headlong into the laboratory. Continue to improve the fuel of the time machine. Main time and space. Bang bang bang. After Vegeta's verbal provocation, number 18 strikes. Under the crushing power of number 18, Vegeta, who had exploded in self-confidence just now, was beaten to pieces, unable to fight back. The result of his hard work for 3 years, he was vulnerable to no 18. So far, Son Goku and others finally understand how powerful the 3 artificial humans made by Dr. J. Luo are. Wow, finally, 18 broke Vegeta's arm with a kick. After a shrill scream, Vegeta, who was scarred and out of breath, finally reached his limit. The super race action was automatically cancelled, and Vegeta fell headlong into the mountain. Good, so strong. Looking at the robot number 18 who spun Vegeta with one hand, Keelan and the others had a look of fear on their faces. This is definitely not an opponent they can defeat. Vegeta has lost. Right now, they can only pin their hopes on Son Goku and Piccolo. Although Son Gohan was not there, at least the backbone of Son Goku was still there, so for a while, Keelan and the others were not in a mess. After Vegeta is dealt with on the 18th, the 3 of them skimmed to the top of a mountain on the 17th, and the gloomy and cold eyes of the 17th fell on Son Goku. Son Goku, it's up to you next. As long as we kill you, we will be free. Although their siblings joined forces to kill Dr. J. Luo, they still had to execute the order that Dr. J. Luo planted in their brains to kill Son Goku. Son Goku didn't ink any ink, and immediately transformed into a super race form. I know, your target is me, so come on. The corner of No 17's mouth raised, and then he looked at the taciturn No 16. Before number 17 could speak, number 16 took the initiative to stand up. Son Goku, leave it to me. 16 has no interest in Piccolo, he neither wants to do anything to these people, nor does he want to kill them. He has only one goal. That's Son Goku. Oh, are you going to make a move? Number 18 raised her eyebrows slightly in surprise. This is just right, they can also take a look at the strength of number 16. And on the 17th and 18th, with the mentality of watching a good show, they are ready to enjoy the next good show with Son Goku on the 16th. As everyone knows, in a hidden corner, a pair of vicious eyes like poisonous snakes have already stared at the 2 siblings. Looking at the tall and strong number 16, and the petite number 17 and No. 18, Son Goku suddenly remembered what Son Gohan had said to himself 3 years ago. It turns out that you are the artificial humans that Gohan said. 16 shrugged, not paying attention to Son Goku's words. He just said very calmly, you are not my match, Son Goku. Give up resistance, and I can make you less painful. Number 16 has sensed according to the energy radar in his body that Son Goku's energy intensity is not as strong as his own, so this is destined to be a battle without much suspense. The final result of this battle will end with the death of Son Goku. Maybe. Son Goku grinned and said, but how will you know if you don't try? It's not Son Goku's style to be caught obediently and wait for death. Number 16 did not speak again. I saw his left hand suddenly clench the wrist of his right hand, and following the slight twist of No 16's left and right, his right fist flew out at an extremely fast speed, heading straight for Son Goku. Son Goku reacted quickly, and he dodged No 16's rocket punch with a back in time. After the first shot missed, No 16's rocket flying fist made another 180-degree turn in the air, and attacked back according to the original route. Son Goku didn't come back to his senses until he noticed a dangerous wind breaking from behind. But at this moment, the rocket flying fist had already advanced in front of him. Son Goku didn't think too much, and crossed his arms in front of his chest reflexively. Although it was blocked, Son Goku was still beaten back again and again by No 16's rocket punch, and was in a state of stiffness for a short time. Taking advantage of Son Goku's 1-second freeze, number 16 is aiming for the right time to take the initiative. During the rush, the right fist that flew out automatically returned to its place. Just when Son Goku reacted, the iron fist the size of casserole number 16 slammed into Son Goku's lower abdomen again. Get hit hard by this. Son Goku let out a scream immediately, his pupils protruding a bit. The whole person flew out like a cooked prawn. Goku. See this scene. The nerves of Kling, Piccolo and others couldn't help becoming tense. With just one encounter, Son Goku was at a disadvantage. It seems that what the big man just said is not false. Son Goku is not necessarily the opponent of No. 16. Piccolo and the others wanted to help, but Piccolo dismissed the idea when he noticed the 17th and 18th stalking them. Those two people will never let them interfere with the battle between 16th and Son Goku. With the performance of Vegeta in the one-handed super race just now on the 18th, even if they are tied up together, I am afraid that it is not enough for the 18th to stick between his teeth. 17 didn't even have to shoot. Under such circumstances, Piccolo and others naturally did not dare to make random moves. Now it's up to Son Goku. As long as Son Goku can beat 16, they still have a chance of winning. Otherwise, the consequences will be disastrous. After all, Son Goku is not an ordinary person. After being attacked by number 16 twice in a row, Son Goku quickly adjusted and faced number 16 head-on. After adjusting, for a while, Son Goku was evenly matched with number 16, evenly matched. In terms of hard power, number 16 is indeed stronger than Son Goku, but in fact it is not much stronger. And Son Goku, relying on years of combat experience and skills, cannot lose the wind when facing number 16 who is slightly stronger than him. See Son Goku back on his feet. Only then did Piccolo, Keelan and the others secretly heave a sigh of relief. But over time, although Son Goku can still hold on, in the battle with number 16 just now, Son Goku has already suffered serious injuries. On the other hand, number 16 is unscathed. Although number 16 is an artificial human, his combat experience and skills should not be underestimated. This is thanks to the combat records of Son Goku and other Earth Z fighters implanted in the brain of number 16 by Dr. J. Luo. So, Son Goku is going to lose. A few minutes later, number 17, who was watching the battle the whole time, had already sentenced Son Goku to death. To be able to fight number 16 for so long without losing, Son Goku is already very good. But alas, Dr. J. Luo gave them the order to kill Son Goku. Number 18 folded his arms around his chest and did not speak. She could see that number 16 was slightly stronger than her and no. 17. If either of the two siblings were to face Son Goku, it might not be possible to have the advantage of number 16, and there is even a great possibility of a disadvantage. Number 16, end the battle quickly. After a while, it seemed that number 17 no longer wanted to wait any longer. He just wanted to end the battle quickly and enjoy their freedom. As long as Son Goku is killed, with their strength, they can do whatever they want on this earth. Heard the words, 16 retreated a distance. He manually removed his right fist, and pointed the energy launcher on his right wrist at Son Goku from afar. Who? Son Goku was panting heavily, with many scars on his body and face. This is all left over from the battle with number 16 just now. Immediately, there was no extra time for Son Goku to think. His hands were raised to his waist in the shape of calyx, and the pure white energy light refracted out. Kamehameha, coming, boom, Kamehameha, which gathered all of Son Goku's strength, blasted out from Son Goku's palm, and blasted straight at number 16 at a 45-degree angle. Hell Flash Cannon, boom, no 16's emotionless voice fell, and a yellow energy shock wave blasted out along with it. Moments later, under the gaze of 17th, 18th, Piccolo and others, Son Goku's Kamehameha meets 16's Infernal Flare Cannon. When the two energy shock waves met, they immediately stalemate. Immediately, number 16 increased the output power. Son Goku's Kamehameha immediately fell into a disadvantage and was pushed back at a speed visible to the naked eye. Son Goku gritted his teeth, sweat beaded on his forehead. Even with all his energy pouring in, it only delayed Kamehameha's tendency to be pushed back a little bit. As number 16 continued to increase the output power, Son Goku could no longer hide his decline. All lines of defense were broken by No. 16. When No 16's Hell Flash Cannon devoured Son Goku, the hearts of Earth Z fighters such as Piccolo and Kling rose to their throats. Their pupils were wide open, and they shouted in horror, "Goku!" Next second, boom, the infernal flare cannon that devoured Son Goku unleashed an earth-shattering explosion after hitting a mountain. Under such a violent energy explosion, the surrounding earth and space shook violently. Terrifying shock waves rippled out. Wherever it passes along the way, all the peaks are cut off by the middle. Chapter 51. Rumble. A huge mushroom cloud rose into the sky. Mushroom clouds represent enormous destructive power. After everything returned to calm, Keelan rushed to the center of the explosion immediately. At this time, Son Gohan was seriously injured and in a panic. Obviously, the current Son Goku is not the opponent of number 16 yet. Goku, are you okay? Lin Yi looked anxious. Son Goku opened his eyelids with difficulty, and said weakly, "Woo. Gohan, are you back?" For his own life and death, Son Goku doesn't really care. What he cares about is the Earth. If these artificial humans are not defeated, the Earth is very likely to fall into an unprecedented catastrophe. Keelan shook his head. I can't feel Gohan's anger, he probably hasn't come back yet. There was an unconcealable sense of despair in Keelan's anxious tone. If Son Gohan doesn't come back, I'm afraid no one will be able to stop number 17 and them again. Anyway, find Gohan. Son Goku held Keelan's hand tightly, and solemnly exhorted. Tread. At this time, there was a sound of footsteps, and Keelan suddenly turned his head, only to see that number 16 had landed on the edge of the big pit, staring at them expressionlessly. Immediately, number 16 continued to raise his right wrist. Another Hell Flash cannon was charging. See, number 16 wants to kill Son Goku. Piccolo couldn't take it anymore. Immediately, he moved, ready to delay number 16 and buy Son Goku some time to recover. However, call out. Piccolo had just taken a few steps when a thin figure suddenly blocked his way. It was Android No. 17. Number 17 stared at the gloomy Piccolo playfully, and joked, "I didn't allow you to go there, Mr. Green Skin." Go away. Anxious Piccolo couldn't care less. Since number 17 blocked his way, he might as well deal with number 17 first. Next second, a violent attack like a storm enveloped number 17. Facing Piccolo's fierce attack, number 17 took a leisurely stroll in the courtyard. After playing with Piccolo for a while, taking advantage of a gap in Piccolo's closing move, he slammed a knee hard into Piccolo's lower abdomen. Immediately afterwards, number 17 kept moving, and at the moment Piccolo bent over, another elbow hit Piccolo hard on the back. Puff. Piccolo's strength was acceptable against Dr. J. Luo, but he was as vulnerable as an ant in front of No. 17. After suffering successive attacks from No. 17, Piccolo let out a scream on the spot and fell from the sky. Piccolo, asshole, let's go too. Seeing that Piccolo was also defeated, Yamcha and Tien Shinhan couldn't hold back their inner anger, and launched an attack on number 17 with a thunderbolt. However, under the crush of absolute strength, even with a joint siege, Yamcha and the others are still like ants in the hands of number 17, with no power to resist. On the 17th, he directly kicked Yamcha and Tien Shinhan and severely injured them. So far, except for Krillin who took care of Son Goku in the pit, the Earth Z warriors were almost wiped out. Woo, Goku, who will stop them? Quote. Piccolo and the others lay on the ground, watching the Hell Flash cannon on the 16th continue to charge, but they could do nothing. At this moment, Piccolo and Yamcha felt an unprecedented sense of despair. Even when Vegeta invaded Earth, or when they faced Frieza, the Emperor of the Universe, on Namek, they had never been so desperate. Because of those two times, although the strength of the enemy is strong, Son Goku can always stand up and hold up the sky. But right now, even their backbone, Son Goku, was easily defeated by No. 16. Son Gohan is missing again. Could it be that? Is it the Earth that deserves such a catastrophe? After a few seconds, the flash hell run on the 16th has been fully charged. He blinked and said indifferently, "Son Goku, if you die, the Earth will have peace." What number 16 said was true. Whether it is him, or number 17 and number 18, their common goal is to complete Dr. J. Luobo's order and kill Son Goku. Then go live a carefree life. How can there be peace? However, No 16's words fell into Keelan's ears, but they were words used to fool a 3-year-old child. He yelled at number 16 hysterically. Number 16 didn't respond to Keelan's hysteria at all, and then his mind moved. Another Hell Flash cannon, carrying the breath of death, went straight to Son Goku and Krillin. The Hell Flash cannon magnified more and more in the seriousness of Son Goku and Klin's eyes were already covered with a thick color of fear. How long has he been resurrected? Are you going to die again? Boom. However, Just as Keelan closed his eyes and waited for the death to come, an explosion resounded through the air. But Klin was only impacted by the shock wave generated by the explosion, and he himself did not suffer much damage. Keelan reacted quickly and looked up abruptly. Piccolo and the others, who were already in despair just now, also looked up, and saw Vegeta, who had transformed into Super One, still kept his hands out in midair. He gasped heavily, and then a sarcasm curled up at the corner of his mouth. I don't fall down so easily. It turned out that Vegeta, who was seriously injured during the battle between Son Goku and number 16, had recovered a little bit, and he twisted his arm with pain. Step up when 16's Hell Flasher is about to kill Son Goku and Krillin. No, 16, number 17, and number 18 all raised their eyebrows. Piccolo and the others revealed a look of ecstasy. Vegeta hadn't been completely defeated yet, which was almost the only good news for them who were already desperate. But the bad news is, Vegeta could stop at once, but he couldn't change the result here. Immediately afterwards, Vegeta smiled confidently, and pointed his thumb at himself. I am Saiyan Prince Vegeta, Kakarot, that guy can only be defeated by me. With a light flick of green finger on the 18th, the bangs on the forehead were pushed back behind the ears, annoying flies. The words fell. Thunder shot again on the 18th. Vegeta, who was already seriously injured, managed to save Son Goku once with his last bit of strength. Facing no 18's attack, Vegeta was even more powerless to fight back. Bang bang bang. A series of heavy muffled sounds sounded, and Vegeta's face, lower abdomen, waist and other parts were attacked to varying degrees. This put Vegeta, who was already seriously injured, in a state of near death. Thump. When Vegeta fell from the sky in free fall, it sent a cloud of smoke on the ground. The last hope of Piccolo et al. Was also dashed. Without Vegeta's interference, number 16 recharged the Hell Flash Cannon and aimed at Son Goku and Kling in the pit again. At the same time, far above Kalen Tower, Son Gohan has already obtained several fairy beans from Kalen Immortal. Thanks, Cat Karen-sama, I'll visit you later. Clap. Immortal Karen's eyelids twitched wildly, and corrected him. Again, my name is Immortal Karen, not a Cat Karen-sama. Hurry up and take the fairy beans to save Goku and the others. Okay, Cat Karen-sama. Goodbye, Cat Karen-sama. Goodbye, Son Goku. Boom. Number 16 stopped procrastinating, and a flash cannon that was enough to easily kill Son Goku and Kling Hell was blasted out. The second time. The yellow infernal flash cannon is getting bigger and bigger in the eyes of Krillin and Son Goku, as well as Piccolo and others. The scythe of death is also coming quietly. At this moment, in the eyes of Piccolo and others, time seems to have stopped. They could only watch this scene helplessly, but there was nothing they could do. In stark contrast to the desperate expressions of Piccolo and others, the faces of number 17 and number 18 were not disturbed. Even a little excited, because for them, as long as Son Goku is killed, they will no longer have any constraints. At that time, on the earth, the sky will be high enough for birds to fly, and the sea will be wide enough for fish to swim. Just when the death scythe was about to take the lives of Son Goku and Klin, a tall but slightly thin figure flashed out from right in front of them. He stretched out his hand and patted lightly, and the Hell Flash Cannon that even Son Goku couldn't do anything about was slapped away lightly. Boom. It wasn't until a violent explosion resounded from a distance that Piccolo and the others, already in a panic, took a closer look. I saw that the location of the eruption was not the big pit where Son Goku and Keelan were, but in a remote barren mountain. Sudden misfortune makes 16, 17 and 18 narrow their eyes dangerously. In front of Son Goku and Keelan, there was a young man wearing an orange exercise uniform. He has striking short hair, and a faint confident smile on his handsome and resolute face. Woo! Gohan. In the end, Klin, who was the closest, was the first to react and exclaimed. Although it's just a back view, Keelan is sure that this is Son Gohan. Keelan, who had fallen into endless despair twice, was finally illuminated by the brilliance of Son Gohan, bringing hope to the desperate man. Really Gohan. Soon, Piccolo, Yamcha, Tien Shinhan and Dumplings are all responsive. They were not mistaken. He rescued Son Goku and Keelan just now. The handsome young man standing in front of them is the Son Gohan who disappeared for a long time. For a while, The despair and powerlessness in the eyes of Piccolo and the others quickly faded away, replaced by ecstasy and hope. Only because the person standing in front of the three cyborgs now is Son Gohan. There is no doubt that the appearance of Son Gohan gave Piccolo and others a sedative. Ha ha ha. The moment it was confirmed that it was Son Gohan, Piccolo laughed wantonly. On the 16th, 17th, and 18th, you are finished. Why did Piccolo dare to be so sure? Although Son Gohan's current aura has not changed much compared to that of the past, the current Son Gohan gives Piccolo a more inscrutable sense of sight. This shows that in the 2 years since Son Gohan disappeared, he has not abandoned martial arts. Instead, it became stronger. And Piccolo can boldly say that the current strength of Son Gohan has far exceeded their cognition. This is destined to be a battle without suspense. In the big pit, Son Gohan ignored the three people on the 16th, but turned around and squatted down, took out a fairy bean and gave it to Son Goku. Gulu. After eating the fairy beans, Son Goku, who was seriously injured, was instantly revived with full blood. Dad, leave it to me next. Son Gohan said lightly. His tone was full of confidence and calmness. Obviously, Son Gohan didn't pay attention to the three people on the 16th. Gohan, be careful, these artificial humans. Before Klin finished speaking, Son Goku interrupted him, his eyes full of trust in Son Gohan. Klin, don't worry, the current Gohan's strength is beyond what we can imagine. The self-confidence and aggressive temperament of Son Gohan made Son Goku feel extremely at ease. His son finally grew up. Son Gohan smiled, then handed the fairy beans to Son Goku, and said, Father, you go and give the fairy beans to Piccolo uncle and they all take it. Son Goku nodded with a smile and gave Son Gohan a thumbs up. Klin, let's go. Then, Son Goku gave Krillin 2 celestial beans, and the two split up and gave the celestial beans to Vegeta, Piccolo and others in turn. Tread. Son Gohan took a step forward and walked up the pit step by step. Finally stood in front of number 16. The height of number 16 is 2.5 meters, and Son Gohan, who is 1.8 meters, stands in front of him, just like a child. But the imperceptible aura emanating from Son Gohan is far above no. 16. Son Gohan raised his head and met 16's eyes. After a few seconds, Son Gohan suddenly grinned. In an instant, no 16's face instantly became serious, and he stepped back a few steps. Because the energy radar in his body told him that the energy limit of Son Gohan could not be detected at all. You had a great time beating my father just now. Son Gohan's voice fell, and an extremely dangerous breath came over his face. Number 16's body and mind instantly became tense like a spring. Come on, let's do it, now I'll play with you. Son Gohan ticked his finger at number 16 again. Number 16 narrowed his eyes slightly, and a smear of cold sweat could not help but slip down on his forehead. He knew very well that there was no point in running away. There was only one choice left for him. That is, war. After hesitating for a second, number 16 suddenly attacked. He stomped his feet and rushed forward in a charging posture, and then the casserole-sized fist slammed straight at Son Gohan's face. Bang bang bang. The sound of the sonic boom continued to resound, and no 16's full-strength punch followed it. Did you make it? Number 17 and number 18 stared at this scene. Son Goku, who was resurrected with full blood after eating the fairy beans, was also watching this side with all their attention. At first they weren't quite sure whether no 16's punch had hit, but when they took a closer look, they realized it. Son Gohan's head tilted slightly, and no 16's huge fist brushed his side face only a millimeter away and fell into the air. Escaped. The eyes of number 17 and number 18 were slightly startled, watching this scene in disbelief. What? 16 also looked at Son Gohan in disbelief. Was Son Gohan really so confident that he got stuck just a millimeter away from his frontal punch? As for whether this was a coincidence, number 16 didn't think so at all. With the energy radar in his body sensing Son Gohan's energy, number 16 knows better than anyone else. This is by no means a coincidence, but Son Gohan's grasp of his attack trajectory to the extreme. Only then did such an operation of avoiding the attack with a gap of 1 millimeter. Son Gohan tilted his head slightly, with the same confident smile on his face, just staring straight at number 16. From No 16's point of view, this is undoubtedly a great provocation. Immediately afterwards, number 16 launched a rain-like offensive, with punches, kicks, and moves, covering Son Gohan from an extremely tricky angle. But to No 16's shock and confusion, Son Gohan perfectly avoided all his attacks with a very small gap just like before. This feeling, like his underpants were seen through by Son Gohan. No 16's attack has no effect at all. Keelan's face couldn't help showing a touch of excitement. As expected of Gohan, Yamcha and Tien Shinhan were also quite excited. Their eyes were full of admiration for Son Gohan. This kid is even more unfathomable than 3 years ago. Vegeta pouted, rather unwilling to say. A mixed-race Saiyan who is only 10 years old is now at a height that neither he nor Son Goku can reach. This made Vegeta, who was born as a Saiyan prince and a genius fighter, feel a huge gap in his heart. For several years, Vegeta still can't figure out where he lost to Son Gohan. On the other hand, Son Goku and Piccolo were not surprised by Son Gohan's performance, because it was completely within their expectations. That's right, this is Son Gohan. They are both familiar and somewhat unfamiliar with Son Gohan. What is familiar is that they watched Son Gohan grow up. The strange thing is, Son Gohan's powerful strength that can't perceive the limit. The other side, the faces of number 17 and number 18 gradually became serious. No 16's attack has been completely seen through. Number 17 said in a deep voice. Yes, the two brothers and sisters read it right. Son Gohan 100% accurately predicted all the trajectories of No 16's attacks and made corresponding responses before his attacks came. The strength between number 16 and Son Gohan is not at the same level at all. This is a battle without suspense. If the 16th is like this, what should they do? Originally, Son Goku could be killed in sight, but at the critical moment, Son Gohan was killed. The point is, Son Gohan's strength seems to be far beyond their imagination. Below, after several minutes of continuous attacks without any results, number 16 finally stopped attacking, and retreated a distance in cold sweat. Immediately, number 16 lowered his hands, as if giving up resistance. It's a meaningless battle, kill me. After the attack just now, number 16 also understood a fact. He can never beat Son Gohan. If Son Gohan doesn't make a shot, it will be thunderous if he makes a shot. And he will be helpless. What? Number 17 and number 18 looked at number 16 in shock. They couldn't believe that number 16 actually surrendered on his own initiative. You're pretty self-aware, but call out. While speaking, Son Gohan disappeared instantly, and reappeared behind No. 16. Whether I want to kill you or not is up to you to decide for me. Say it. Son Gohan spun 180 degrees in the air, and a simple side kick landed on No 16's side face. Boom. Suffering such a heavy blow, number 16 was kicked into the air on the spot, smashing a hill into powder, and completely lost the ability to fight. So strong. At this moment, both Son Goku and Piccolo couldn't help but exclaimed. Son Gohan's seemingly unpretentious side kick actually showed his ultimate control of power. Because the strength of Son Gohan's kick was controlled within the range that could make number 16 incapable of fighting without killing him. This requires fine-grained control over power. At least, neither Son Goku nor Piccolo thought they could do that. After solving No. 16, Son Gohan turned around and looked up at number 17 and number 18 on the mountain. It's up to you next. Are you choosing to admit defeat like number 16, or are you going to fight me twice? No. 18. Looking at the 18th number in the main time and space, Son Gohan thought of the 18th number in the future time and space. I don't know what the future is like now. Can number 18 really restrain number 17? If the future 18th cannot restrain the 17th, then the Earth in the future time and space may fall into panic and despair again. I still hope there will be a happy ending. I really don't want to kill you, number 17. After a while, Son Gohan withdrew his mind. Refocus on number 17 and number 18 in the main time and space. This moment, the faces of number 17 and number 18 darkened. Number 16 took the initiative to admit defeat, and was defeated by Son Gohan at the speed of light, causing a great visual and psychological impact on the two brothers and sisters. However, although they have no way out now, number 17 pretended to be calm and said, Son Gohan, right. Standing in front of you is the strongest android warrior ever. I'm not the coward like no. 16. Number 18 did not speak, and obviously chose to stand on the same front as number 17. Even if they turn around and run away now, where can they run? As long as they are on Earth, Son Gohan will always be able to find them. Instead of starting an endless escape life, it is better to face it bravely. Immediately, both number 17 and number 18 put up their fighting stances and said, "Come on, let me see how capable you are." Heard the words, Son Gohan pointed to his own head, implying that the brains of the two brothers and sisters are not working well, and said, "If you don't see the coffin, you won't cry, since that's the case. Then come on, I'll play with you. You can attack without worrying, I will be merciful w." No 17's eyelids twitched, and he said sarcastically, "Stop pretending to be there, I really think we're afraid of you." Then, number 17 and number 18 looked at each other, as if they had a tacit understanding. The 17th launched the attack first, and the 18th followed closely behind. Call out. Number 17 was extremely fast, swooping down like a thunderbolt, and launched an attack on Son Gohan head-on. At the same time, Son Gohan also took a step forward. It appeared again, already in front of No. 17. In an instant, No 17's pupils shrank suddenly, and his body trembled reflexively. "For you two Zon Wuscum, I'm not in the mood to play house with you here." The words fell. Puff. Number 17 only felt that his abdomen was hit hard by a blow that penetrated his body. Under the terrifying force that could not be described, number 17 was kicked up to 10,000 meters in the air on the spot, and then fell rapidly in a free-fall posture. Solving number 17 with lightning speed, Son Gohan kept moving, and in a flash, he appeared in front of number 18 like a ghost. When Son Gohan appeared like a ghost, No 18's tender body trembled, and her face changed dramatically. She stared blankly at Son Gohan's handsome face so close at hand, she was at a loss for a moment. Son Gohan grinned, "Hello, number 18. Immediately, Son Gohan raised his palm. Accompanied by a crisp sound, number 18 covered his face on the spot, and after spinning dozens of times in the air, he slammed into the foot of a mountain behind him. Monster. Vegeta's eyelids twitched wildly as he watched the whole scene. Son Gohan solved the three artificial humans on the 17th so easily and freely. The scene where I was violently beaten by number 18 just now is still vivid in my mind. As a result, it was such an artificial man number 18 who could not even lift his head up, but was slapped by Son Gohan and turned his back on his back, losing his ability to fight. Really, without contrast, there is no harm. So far. The three androids on the 16th, 17th and 18th were all defeated. In front of Son Gohan's Star Destroyer, the toy cars of the three androids are simply vulnerable. I didn't even know that I had run over them. No doubt. Son Gohan showed great strength that is totally different from everyone present. And, Son Gohan doesn't even need to transform when he downplays these three androids who make them all hopeless. Thump. Cemetery. A muffled sound came again, and everyone looked along the source of the sound, only to find that it was number 17 who had just been kicked by Son Gohan to a height of 10,000 meters, and finally fell back to the ground. Number 17 was lying on the ground, in a coma state, not knowing whether he was dead or alive. Until this moment, it was only then that Keelan, Yamcha and Tien Shinhan realized that they were already in a desperate situation, but the arrival of Son Gohan reversed the situation. The three powerful artificial humans on the 16th, 17th and 18th were successively defeated by Son Gohan with thunder. Laugh. Among the rubble piles at the foot of the mountain, number 18 struggled to get up while supporting her petite and exquisite body. She covered her hot right cheek and stared at Son Gohan. In her beautiful eyes, there is nothing but fear or fear. "Let's go, I won't kill you." Son Gohan just said something lightly, then turned around and walked towards Son Goku and Zhao Zhao's Piccolo. What? Seeing Son Gohan who turned around and left, number 18 froze in place, not knowing what to do for a moment. She thought Son Gohan was going to kill them just now, but... What did he say? "I won't kill you." But looking at the way Son Gohan turned and left, it didn't seem like he was fooling them. Call. After regaining consciousness and confirming that Son Gohan would not kill him, number 18 heaved a long sigh of relief. Call out. At this time, number 18 didn't notice that a shadow like a poisonous snake rushed out from a hidden corner, heading straight for her to stop her. Next second, what? The fearful screams of number 18 resounded through the sky. No 18's piercing, fear-filled scream resounded through the forest. Everyone hurriedly followed the sound. I didn't know when an ugly reptile-like creature covered in green and densely packed with black spots appeared. It was already grabbing No 18's neck with one hand, and picked it up from the ground. This ugly reptile creature was the ultimate man-made creature who took a time machine from the future time and space to the main time and space 3 years ago, and hid underground for 3 years, people. Cell, looking at the 18th floor in his hand, which was already seriously injured and had little resistance. Cell, who is still in the first order form, smiled triumphantly, then licked his lips, and said bloodthirstily, "He, thank you for your help, Son Gohan." Although with the strength of a Tier 1 Cell, it doesn't take much effort to win number 18, but if you can catch the leak, why not do it? Who is this guy? The sudden change made Keelan and the other's body and mind, which had been completely relaxed, become tense again. This ugly guy makes people feel very uncomfortable, Piccolo said in a deep voice. Son Goku looked at Son Wufan, Gohan. Son Goku believes that Son Gohan should know the origin of this ugly creature in front of him. At the same time, the tail spine on Cell's back has been opened, ready to eat his nourishment. As long as the 17th and 18th can be successfully absorbed, the Cell can successfully evolve into a complete body. At that time, Cell has absolute confidence, and Son Gohan, who easily defeated the 3 of number 17 just now, will never be his opponent. As for number 18, who was being carried by Cell, his face was pale at this time, and his delicate and pretty face was full of fear. She looked at Son Gohan imploringly, as if expecting Son Gohan to save her. She doesn't want to be food for this ugly reptile. In contrast, Son Gohan is extraordinarily calm. Ah! Son Gohan gave a meaningful smile, then took a step forward, and said with a steady smile, "I thought how long you were going to hide, Cell. I smelled the disgusting stench on your body when I was still taking fairy beans in Kalanta. You really think I don't know that you have been hiding in the sidelines and observing in secret just now? Then wait for the opportunity to absorb number 17 and number 18 to complete your so-called perfect body." Heard the words, Cell frowned. Suddenly an ominous premonition rose in his heart. Son Gohan shrugged his shoulders, and continued, "I'm not wrong, you came here by time machine from the future 3 years ago. The reason why you haven't shown up is because Doctor released the 17th and 18th. And your purpose of coming here from the future time and space is to absorb the 17th and 18th here, and then evolve into a perfect body. After evolving to a full body, you will have extremely powerful power." What? Cell, who was a little proud at first, felt fluctuated in his heart after hearing Son Gohan's words. Because Son Gohan said it verbatim. Cell boasted that no one knew of his whereabouts in the past 3 years since he came to the main time and space, but why did Son Gohan know it all? It was as if he had been monitoring himself. Scalp tingling. And about your origin, you are the ultimate artificial human created by the future Dr. J. Luo, right? Son Gohan's words are not only for Cell, but also for Son Goku and the others. What? Dr. J. Luo even created an ultimate artificial human? The future Dr. J. Luo. When I heard that Cell is the ultimate artificial human made by the future Dr. Glue, I was shocked. The artificial people of the future have all come here. In addition to No. 16, number 17, number 18 and Cell, how many artificial humans did Dr. J. Luo create? At this time, Cell's face became gloomy. Since you know so clearly, it seems that I can't hide it from you. As long as I absorb number 17 and number 18 and evolve into a perfect body, you are not so powerful in my eyes. Believe me, as long as I evolve to a perfect body, I can definitely defeat you with my strength. Cell is not stupid. He knows that now his opponent is not Son Gohan. So I simply resorted to the aggressive method. As long as Son Gohan desires to fight the full body of him, then his plan can be perfectly implemented. Heard the words, Son Gohan smiled sarcastically, and said, "I'll tell you a fact, even if you evolve into a perfect body, you are no different from an ant in my eyes. Besides, with such a low-level method as aggressive generals, I am afraid that only Vegeta, who is arrogant, conceited, and thinks he is invincible, can be fooled by you. I'm not interested in you in full body. As soon as Son Gohan said this, Vegeta's eyelids twitched violently from behind. Are you polite? Why was I shot while I was lying down? And it seems that I have never done such a thing. In addition, the corner of Son Gohan's mouth suddenly curled up playfully, and he said, since I know you are here, it is impossible for you to absorb anyone from number 17 or number 18 in front of me. If you don't believe me, you can try it. This moment, Cell's entire face darkened completely. Since the aggressive method doesn't work, he has no choice but to force it. I'll absorb number 18 right now, let's see how you stop me. Cell yelled sharply, and then broke down. For him, now only after successfully absorbing number 17 and number 18, and his strength skyrocketed, will he have a chance to survive. Otherwise, Son Gohan, who knows him well, will never let him go. Immediately, Cell didn't hesitate any longer. The big tailbone covered number 18 from top to bottom. Boom! Almost at the same time, Son Gohan no longer hides, and releases his normal Chi-Chianjing's terrifying fighting power into an incomparable aura. A terrifying aura that was so powerful that it made one's heart tremble swept across. In just a short moment, everyone at the scene was like a ghost, and was overturned to the ground by the terrifying aura emanating from Son Gohan on the spot. Son Goku and Vegeta's group are fine. After all, Son Gohan has controlled the main direction of the aura. But they were still shocked by Son Gohan's unfathomable aura and aura. Is this the true strength of Gohan? Unbelievably strong. Tien Shinhan's pupils were wide open, horrified. Keelan said, it's like an evil spirit is pressing on me, it's suffocating. Gohan, he is from another world. Yamcha is not only shocked, but also terrified. Because Son Gohan's chi is too strong. It's so strong that it doesn't look like someone who grew up on Earth. No. Impossible. It can't be true. Looking at Son Gohan's back, Vegeta's pupils shrink to the size of a pinprick, and he can't believe his eyes and perception. Because of the current Son Gohan. Before transforming, he is already countless times stronger than when he transformed into Super 2-3 years ago. How is this possible? How could someone's strength improve so quickly? Monsters are not enough to describe Son Gohan's abnormality. Demon. He is a devil. Now, Vegeta, who still had some psychological shadows on Son Gohan's powerful strength, is even bigger now. Gohan. By comparison, shock and disbelief for Son Goku and Piccolo, thrill and relief. If it weren't for Son Gohan releasing his aura as an aura to shock Cell, they wouldn't know that Son Gohan's current strength has reached an unperceivable limit. That crybaby back then is now a truly strong man who can stand on his own. The young eagle that still needed to be cared for back then has spread its wings and soared for 9 days. Opposite, under Son Gohan's powerful aura, Cell, which bears the brunt, was severely injured and vomited blood on the spot, and the originally inflated tail spine returned to its original shape like a suffocated balloon. Thump. With Son Gohan hitting Cell hard with his aura, he was no longer able to hold 18. Cell was laying on the ground, his snake-like eyes were full of empty fear. Just the aura. Cell couldn't believe it. Son Gohan can seriously injure him just by using his aura. What the hell kind of monster is this? Tread. Son Gohan took a step forward, and every step he took was like a heavy hammer falling on Cell's heart. He stared at Son Gohan nervously, subconsciously backing away. But Son Gohan didn't seem to intend to pay attention to Cell. He came to number 18, and said lightly, I still can't die. I won't thank you. Number 18 looked away, not daring to look at Son Gohan, and said arrogantly. Yes. Son Gohan smiled meaningfully, and said, but the look in your eyes just now was clearly begging me to save you. Women are really duplicity. Swish. Number 18's face instantly flushed red. She was so ashamed now that she wanted to dig a hole in the ground and get in on the spot. Call out. While Son Gohan was talking to No. 18, Cell didn't have the slightest ink, and planned to use 36 tactics as the best plan. Where there is life, there is hope. This time I failed to absorb number 17 and No. 18. I just need to hide and wait for an opportunity to absorb them. No need to confront Son Gohan now. And with his current strength, going head to head with Son Gohan is tantamount to hitting a stone with a pebble. Gohan, don't let him get away. When Piccolo's voice came, Son Gohan raised his head slowly. I saw that Cell was already gliding into the sky at this time, ready to run away at the fastest speed. Can you run away? Son Gohan unhurriedly threw a Qigong bullet. The Qigong bullet was extremely fast, and caught up to Cell in the blink of an eye. Accompanied by a boom, the Qigong bomb produced a violent explosion after hitting the Cell. The monstrous flames burst out mixed with billowing smoke. The Cell at the center of the explosion also failed to escape bad luck, and was blasted to the point where there was not even a scum left. Of course Son Gohan knew Cell's weakness, so he didn't give Cell any chance to come back from the dead, and directly wiped him out from the physical sense. Do you want to blow yourself up like in the original book and then resurrected with the chip in the head? I'm afraid it can only exist in the original book. Son Gohan would not have made such a low-level mistake. And because Cell was eliminated by Son Gohan at the first level, so the following stories in the original book, and even the Cell game, will never happen again. Although Son Gohan didn't know whether it was right or wrong to do so, anyway, kill Cell first. Who made him look so ugly? Looking at myself nauseated. After solving Cell, Son Gohan didn't bother with number 18 lying on the ground. He turned back to Son Goku and the others. Son Goku had nothing to say. He just gave Son Gohan a thumbs up, expressing his affirmation to him. Piccolo also gave him an affirmative smile. As if with just a flick of a finger, Son Gohan was already far ahead of them. It is true that talented people come out from generation to generation, and the waves behind the Yangtze River push forward the waves ahead. With Son Gohan here, those old guys who used to guard the earth may be able to retire. Vegeta, do you want to practice with me? After making eye contact with Son Goku and Piccolo, Son Gohan turned his gaze to Vegeta. What? Vegeta didn't react for a while. Son Gohan is teaching himself how to practice. Son Gohan explained with a smile. At first, I was still a little prejudiced against you, or maybe I didn't trust you, but the act of saving my father just now made me recognize you. If you want to become stronger, come to me tomorrow. Dad, you can come too. Son Gohan wondered. Since the story behind the artificial man is gone, he can't let the strength of Son Goku and Vegeta fall. At least, I have to cultivate them to the level of Super 2. And Vegeta's manly behavior just now is indeed worthy of teaching him how to become stronger. But, we still have to find a wife for Vegeta so that he can start a family and start a business, otherwise he will never have a sense of belonging to the earth. Son Gohan thought to himself. In the original book, Vegeta in this time period is indeed not very good. Selfishness and arrogance are his greatest weaknesses. But after the Buu chapter, Vegeta is really a real man worthy of respect. Of course, the premise of all this is that Vegeta has a family on Earth, has children, and naturally has concerns. Suddenly, Son Gohan thought of a very suitable candidate. Shout, I don't need your approval. Vegeta pouted. However, although facing the temptation of strength, Vegeta should go to find Son Gohan tomorrow. Just kidding, who would have trouble with power? Especially Vegeta, who is the Saiyan prince of the fighting nation. For the sake of strength, he can temporarily abandon his arrogance of Prince Saiyan. It's okay if I can't catch up with Son Gohan, but Kakarot can always catch up. Vegeta really couldn't believe it. I am a talented fighter with the blood of the Saiyan royal family, can I not compare with Kakarot, a low-level fighter? Son Gohan also smiled helplessly. These people. They are really more arrogant than one. That's all. He didn't bother to expose Vegeta, anyway, it's not like he doesn't know Vegeta. As a Saiyan prince, his personality is like this, if he really competes with Vegeta, then he will lose. Regarding the practice, Son Goku also agreed. Since Vegeta is going to practice with Son Gohan, he must go too. Otherwise, wouldn't he be caught up by Vegeta? Before leaving, Son Gohan turned around and said to number 18 lying on the ground, Live well, you were not born to live for Dr. Globo to kill people, go find your own life, don't be dominated by others, that is your own life. Say it. Son Gohan didn't stay any longer, and left the barren mountain with the large army. At this time, number 16 staggered over, looked at the direction where Son Gohan disappeared, and said, Soldier of Justice. Number 18, Son Gohan is a trustworthy person. Although number 16 didn't make the words very clear, how could number 18 not understand the meaning contained in it? Only, number 18 still maintained her arrogance. I don't know what you're talking about. Number 16 smiled, but didn't expose it. Of course he could see that Tien Bahao seemed to have developed some affection for Son Gohan. It all started when Son Gohan rescued her from Cell. Son Gohan's words before leaving touched No 18's heart even more. Yes, although they are cyborgs, she and her younger brother number 17 were just ordinary human beings. They were captured and forcibly transformed into cyborgs by Dr. Glue. Now that Dr. Zhe Luo is dead again, the two brothers and sisters have the right to choose their own life path. As for Son Goku, as long as Son Gohan is around, they don't want to kill them. That being the case, let's just let it go. Anyway, it's not an order that must be executed. Dr. Zhe Luo is dead, and no one can force them to do anything. Magnum Capsule Company. Long time no see. Son Gohan couldn't hide the feeling of longing in his heart, and got tired of Bulma for a while. Immediately, Son Gohan suddenly said, Bulma, do you have a sister named Tazy? Yeah, what's the matter? Bulma was slightly puzzled. She has an older sister named Tiz, but her sister Tiz gave up her superior life at home in order to become a SF writer, and chose to work outside to experience life. Bulma almost forgot when was the last time she saw her sister Tiz. Son Gohan then asked, she doesn't have a date yet, right? Heard the words, Bulma narrowed his eyes dangerously, and said suspiciously, yes, why are you asking this? Could it be? Being stared at by Bulma with such suspicious eyes, Son Gohan was also speechless for a while. He explained, well, I thought if your sister Tazy hasn't found a date yet, how about introducing her to Vegeta? The suitable candidate that Son Gohan thought of was naturally Bulma's sister Tazy. Of course, if they feel inappropriate, obviously I can't force them. So this is all. Only then was Bulma relieved, and said, it's fine, but my sister doesn't like Vegeta, right? Hey, no matter what, let's introduce it first, and then talk about it if it's not suitable. Okay, then I will contact my sister later. Originally, Bulma didn't care about this kind of thing. Now that Son Gohan mentioned it, she simply called her sister Tazy and asked if it could be done anyway. It still depends on the fate of Vegeta and Tazy. So the matter was settled. The next day, sure enough, Vegeta came to Universal Capsule Company to find Son Gohan. With him, there is Son Goku. Both Vegeta and Son Goku are very clear that if they practice like this, if they continue to practice like this, their strength will not improve much. Therefore, if you want to make a qualitative leap in strength again, you have to practice with Son Gohan. Then, Son Gohan took Son Goku and Vegeta to the gravity training room he used to practice. Gohan, is this the training room? Looking at the empty room, Son Goku immediately guessed the purpose of this room. On the way to Namek, he was also a person who used the gravity training room after all. Son Gohan nodded, and said, the gravity multiplier of this gravity training room is slightly stronger than the one you used, Dad, and its ultimate gravity multiplier is 10,000 times. At first, the limit multiplier of this gravity training room was 3,000 times. Later, with the continuous improvement of Son Gohan's strength, 3,000 times can no longer meet Son Gohan's needs. So Bulma worked hard to increase the multiple to a full 10,000 times. What, 10,000 times? Son Gohan's faint voice exploded in Son Goku's ears like a heavy bomb. You call this a strong? And Vegeta didn't realize the seriousness of the matter at this time. Son Gohan ignored the stunned Son Goku, and then began to operate on the console. In view of your current strength, let me give you 300 times first. While speaking, Son Gohan had already pressed a 3 and 2 zeros on the console's numeric keypad. With Son Gohan pressing the start button, 300 times the terrifying gravity struck instantly, and Son Goku and Vegeta, who were caught off guard, were crushed to the floor on the spot. What is this stuff? Feeling the terrifying gravity exerted on him, Vegeta's eyes widened. Only 300 times is terrifying, what about 10,000 times? Dare to Love You Kid has been using this kind of thing to practice. Well, you are not allowed to transform into Super Saiyan, you can practice here. After explaining something, Son Gohan turned and left. To cultivate this thing, one has to rely on self-awareness. It is true that as long as Son Goku and Vegeta are together, their self-consciousness will never be low. So Son Gohan doesn't need to stare at them all the time, just let them practice by themselves. In this way, a month passed. In just 1 month, Son Goku's and Vegeta's normal fighting power increased by more than 3 million each, which is already comparable to their achievements in the past year of training. It has to be said that the gravity training room is indeed a kind of panacea for people with moderate strength. It can make the strength of the cultivator steadily increase at a speed visible to the naked eye. Besides, in the past month, Vegeta and Bulma's sister Tais also met, but because Tais wanted to write, Vegeta was 18 to practice. Therefore, the two of them only met twice a month, and there was no progress so far. Bulma tentatively learned from Tais that she doesn't like Vegeta at the moment, but she doesn't hate Vegeta either. For this matter, Son Gohan did not interfere too much. Anyway, he has done what he should do. Whether he can succeed or not depends on their luck. Blind, it would be great if this kind of life could last forever. In the yard of Bulma's house, Son Gohan is lying on a sun lounger basking in the morning sun. If you can live a peaceful and warm daily life, who is willing to fight and kill? Son Gohan also understands that it is obviously a bit unrealistic to want to live a peaceful and warm daily life in the world of Dragon Ball. The world is unpredictable. Who knows what unpredictable things will happen tomorrow or the next second? Call out. Just as this thought flashed through my mind, an octopus-shaped time machine suddenly appeared out of thin air above the yard. Son Gohan, who happened to notice this scene, petrified on the spot. Ah, this kind of octopus-shaped machine, even if it is the first time I see it. But for Son Gohan, it couldn't be more familiar. Isn't this a time machine? Rumble. The engine of the time machine erupted with fireworks and slowly landed on the ground. Before the hatch was opened, Son Gohan saw the figure inside through the glass of the hatch. Bulma. Bulma from the future. And it's not just Bulma. Son Gohan vaguely seemed to see another slender figure. If it's true, I'm afraid it's not the 18th in the future. Crunch. The time machine landed, and the hatch opened in response. When the future Bulma poked his head out, he immediately saw Son Gohan sitting in the yard basking in the sun. Gohan. The moment he saw Son Gohan, Bulma couldn't help showing a touch of excitement and ecstasy on his mature and pretty face. After more than 2 years, she finally saw the one she loved day and night again. Following the protruding head of future number 18, there was also a flash of excitement in the beautiful eyes, and a smile full of love appeared unconsciously on Ju's lips. But compared to future Bulma, future number 18 is more reserved. She didn't show her feelings on her face. It's really, I don't know which will come first, tomorrow or the accident. Son Gohan rubbed his forehead. The arrival of future Bulma and future number 18 is both a surprise and an accident for Son Gohan. He himself also wants to meet the future Bulma and the future No. 18. But this is the main time and space. If you run over, you will definitely be caught by Bulma from the main time and space. It's over. It's a proper Shira field. Right now Son Gohan is having a headache. Future Bulma and future 18 have already landed. Hey, I can only take one step at a time. Slightly adjusted the complicated mood, Son Gohan greeted him with a smile on his face. Why are you here? When he walked in, Son Gohan, who was a little confused, realized that there was a pink baby girl in the arms of Bulma in the future. If nothing else, this baby girl should be the crystallization of love between herself and the future Bulma. Only, both myself and Bulma, the main palace in the main space and time, have not yet been born. If Masamiya Bulma sees it, what will she think? So Son Gohan doesn't know whether to cry or laugh now. Future Bulma smiled brightly and said, because I don't know when you will go to the future again, so I built a time machine myself and come here. By the way, this is our daughter Sun Xiaoling. Xiaoling, say hello to Dad. Sun Xiaoling, who is more than 1 year old, stared at Son Gohan innocently. Although it was the first time she saw this man in front of her, this man gave her a very close feeling. So, after a moment of hesitation, Sun Xiaoling stretched out her tender little hand, and said in a childish voice, Dad. Dad. Son Gohan's heart melted in an instant when Sun Xiaoling said, Father. He didn't care too much anymore, and immediately took over Sun Xiaoling from the future Bulma. Squeezing Sun Xiaoling's chubby pink face, Sun Gohan immediately turned into a loving father, and said with a smile, "You look so cute, little Lingling." Sun Xiaoling seemed to like the interaction between Sun Gohan and her, with an innocent and bright smile on her pink face. Looking at this scene of harmony between father and daughter, future Bulma unconsciously got wet eyes. When she came, she was still worried that Sun Xiaoling didn't recognize Sun Gohan as her father. After all, this was the first time she had seen Sun Gohan in more than a year since she was born. Now it seems that I am worrying too much. How old is she? After interacting with Sun Xiaoling, Sun Gohan asked. If you calculate carefully, it should be 2 years old. 2 years old, that's not too young. If I grow up a bit, I'm afraid they won't recognize me. Sun Gohan joked. Future Bulma and number 18 couldn't help but smile. You also know that Sun Xiaoling won't recognize you when she grows up. Sun Gohan also smiled to himself, and then his eyes fell on the future No. 18. By the way, number 18, you are. Future 18th hesitated, it seemed a bit difficult to talk about. In the future, Bulma will help her explain her own situation to Sun Gohan. Although it was expected, Sun Gohan was still stunned after listening, this. Sun Gohan froze because, on the premise of knowing that future 18 likes her, future Bulma can still get along with her in a friendly and harmonious way, and even brings her to find him in time and space. In the future, number 18 is too embarrassed to say it, but she also volunteered to help No. 18. So Gohan, do you want to accept the number 18? What? I have no problem, the problem is. Sun Gohan gestured to the room behind him. In the future, Bulma and number 18 will understand immediately, which means that there is no problem with Sun Gohan, the problem is Bulma of the main dimension. Bulma in the future is also a Bulma after all, the Bulma of the master dimension may not have any objections to her, but the 18th. That's hard to say. Gohan, who is it? Just at this moment, the voice of Bulma from the main dimension came from behind. Originally, Bulma was still in the laboratory, but the sound of the time machine landing caught her attention, so she came out to take a look. It's okay if you don't look at it, but after looking at it. Bang! When he saw the time machine parked on the lawn of the yard, as well as Bulma and number 18 from the future, the coffee in Bulma's hand fell from his hand. Instantly, there is a subtle smell in the air. The scene was dead silent. In the living room, Bulma poured a cup of tea for both her future self and future 18. Sun Gohan sat beside Sun Xiaoling with his arms in his arms. After learning all about the situation from her future self, Bulma's face suddenly darkened. She wasn't hostile to her future self, but Bulma wasn't so happy with number 18. Gohan, don't you say a few words. Bulma glared at Sun Gohan who was sitting aside as if he had nothing to do with himself, and said angrily. Sun Gohan sighed softly, then handed Sun Xiaoling to the future Bulma, and then took Bulma back to the room. In the room, Bulma put his hands on his hips, dissatisfied. Gohan, please explain to me, what's going on with that No. 18. It's fine if you go to the future time and space and get on good terms with me in the future. In the end there was another number 18. Bulma was not very comfortable. Sun Gohan raised his hands to the sky, and said with a straight face, Heaven and earth conscience, nothing has happened between me and the future No. 18. Yes, Bulma narrowed his eyes dangerously, and asked suspiciously, then what did the future one tell me just now? Just now the future Bulma clearly told her that the future 18th likes Sun Gohan, and Sun Gohan has already expressed his opinion, but now you tell me nothing happened. If it happens, what's the deal? Sun Gohan explained. Well, I can't stop people from liking me, right? It made sense, but Bulma couldn't refute it. But, Bulma asked again, then why did you accept her? Do you like her too? Do you want to hear the truth or a lie? Of course it's true. Bulma, I don't want to lie to you. Sun Gohan said truthfully, the truth is, I like it. Joke, who doesn't like number 18 who is blonde and blue-eyed, has a petite figure and looks like a royal lady? Bulma, Gohan, you let me down. Bulma pouted and sat down on the edge of the bed angrily. Sun Gohan rubbed his forehead with a headache. He knew that Shira Field was not easy to deal with, but now he had to face it again. If I had known that the future Bulma and number 18 would take the time machine to the main time and space to find myself, it would be better to go to the main time and space by myself. What are you doing now? How can I fix it? So chant. And this kind of thing has to be faced sooner or later. Immediately, Son Gohan pulled Bulma up from the bed and embraced him domineeringly. Bulma, I know it's my fault, but they are people from the future time and space after all, and they will go back in a few days. Don't I still belong to you alone? Son Gohan clung to Bulma's ear and comforted him gently. Although there is a future you and number 18, you are still the most important thing in my heart. From beginning to end, you have never changed. Heard the words. Although Bulma's anger subsided a little, she was still very unbalanced. But what can she do? Break up with Son Gohan because of this? She can't do it. If he really broke up with Son Gohan, and Son Gohan went to the future time and space to be with his future self and number 18, wouldn't he be a complete failure? Then the clown will really be herself. No, she must not lose to the latecomers. Emotionally, Son Gohan did hurt herself, but she believed that what Son Gohan said just now was the truth. At least Son Gohan didn't lie to himself that he didn't like number 18. A 3-year-old wouldn't believe that kind of nonsense. If you don't like number 18, will you accept her? And one thing Son Gohan said is right, the future self and number 18 are people from the future time and space after all. They lived here for 10 days and half a month at the worst, and they should go back after 3 to 5 months. At that time, no one will argue with her anymore. A long time. Then Bulma said unwillingly, then you promise me that in the future between the few of us, I must be considered first in everything. See, Bulma finally let go. Son Gohan also secretly breathed a sigh of relief, and then vowed. There is no doubt about it. Quote. Immediately, Son Gohan let go of Bulma, gently wiped away a tear from her eyes, and said softly, I knew Bulma was the most understanding. Shout, I'm not empathetic, I'm just. Bulma thought about it, but still didn't say it. Just what? Son Gohan asked with a smile. Nothing. Bulma rolled his eyes, and seemed a little annoyed. After thinking for a while, Bulma said again, I was thinking, since my future self can accept number 18, what else can I say? This is a lie. Just because the future self can accept number 18 doesn't mean she can. She just couldn't bear Son Gohan, and at the same time didn't want to lose to no. 18. Son Gohan smiled, but did not expose Bulma. If she could accept the existence of number 18 in the future, she wouldn't be like this just now. Okay, tidy up and let's go out, don't let them laugh at you. Bulma pouted, then sat in front of the dressing table to touch up her makeup, and then took Son Gohan's hand out of the room. See Bulma coming out of the room holding Son Gohan's hand. Bulma and 18 already knew the future, because they didn't say anything about it. Everyone knows it. Back in the living room, Bulma didn't say anything else. She came to the future Bulma. Ben Yingying said, her name is Xiaoling, right? Let the past mother hug her. Sun Xiaoling also seems to like Bulma in the main dimension very much, and she is happy to let her hold her. Mom is pregnant. Sun Xiaoling called Bulma in a childish voice. Bulma enjoyed Sun Xiaoling's mother's cry so much that her eyes turned into crescent moons. Looking at this harmonious and warm scene, Son Gohan, future Bulma, and number 18 all smiled brightly. With the arrival of the future Bulma and the 18th, Son Gohan's half-year happy life begins. During the past 6 months, the cultivation of Vegeta and Son Goku has also continued. Only, Son Gohan still lets them practice in the gravity training room, and then adjusts the gravity multiple of the gravity training room according to their strength improvement. As for Son Gohan, in addition to the happy life of hugging left and right every day, of course there is also bringing a baby. Son Gohan, who became a father for the first time, naturally couldn't put it down for his daughter Sun Xiaoling. Of course, in his spare time, Son Gohan will also guide the future number 18 practice. Although number 18 is an artificial human, she can also become stronger through practice. The reason why Son Gohan instructs number 18 to practice is to deal with Babidi who will land on the Earth in the future time and space. The Babidi in the future time and space is different from the main time and space. The Babidi in the future time and space landed on the Earth after collecting energy in the universe for a long time. Therefore, the future Babidi landed on Earth many years later than the main time and space. In the past 6 months, through Son Gohan's guidance and practice, No 18's strength has improved a lot, but it still can't match Dabra, the king of the demon world with Super 2 strength. So Son Gohan thought about how to get the ability to travel through time and space. Otherwise, once Babidi from the future time and space lands on the Earth, and Dabra follows, the future 17th and 18th will not be able to deal with Dabra. Once the 17th and 18th are defeated, the Earth in the future time and space will fall into an unprecedented catastrophe. However, Son Gohan did not explain to future 18 that Babidi will land on Earth, lest she and future Bulma have to worry about it all day. After staying in the main time and space for half a year. In the future, Bulma and number 18 took Sun Xiaoling on the time machine and returned to the future time and space. Goodbye, remember to come over again when you have time. Bulma waved his little hand, saying goodbye to future Bulma and No. 18. The future Bulma and number 18 in the cabin also waved goodbye to Son Gohan and Bulma below. At last, with a whoosh, the time machine took the three of Bulma in the future and disappeared into the sight of Son Gohan and Bulma. Until now, only then did Bulma secretly heave a sigh of relief, and finally sent the two of them away. No one will rob Son Gohan from her in the future. If it is said that Bulma is reluctant to part with Bulma and number 18 in the future, that's not the case, she is quite reluctant to part with Xiaoling. Gohan. Bulma turned around and said to Son Gohan expectantly, let's give birth to our little Ling as soon as possible. Thinking of Xiaoling so soon? Son Gohan quipped. To be honest, Son Gohan is also very reluctant. White, fat, and pretty, like Sun Xiaoling, who could say no to her? Bulma raised his eyebrows and asked back with a smile, don't you want to? Of course I do. Son Gohan picked up Bulma in a princess hug, and said with a smirk, come on, follow me into the house, let's give birth to Xiaoling. Just now Son Gohan and Bulma bid farewell to the future Bulma and number 18, and the whole process of Son Gohan carrying Bulma back to the house, was fully seen by two pairs of eyes hidden in the dark. No, 17, I didn't lie to you, there really is another me. After Son Gohan carried Bulma back to the house, in order to avoid being discovered by Son Gohan, number 17 and number 18 left Universal Capsule Company as quickly as possible. After walking far away, number 18 opened his mouth to speak. In fact, as early as half a year ago, the day when Bulma and 18th arrived in the future, 18th discovered it. That day, after hearing what number 16 said, number 18 originally wanted to come to thank Son Gohan for saving his life, but happened to see the scene where Bulma and number 18 landed in a time machine in the future. When number 18 came out of the time machine in the future, number 18 was shocked and confused. With just one glance, she can be sure that it is definitely her. When Bulma from the main time and space came out of the house and saw two Bulmas at the same time, number 18 confirmed that Bulma and number 18 who came by time machine should come from another time and space. Probably the future time and space that Son Gohan said when he killed Cell. On that day, due to the arrival of the future Bulma and the 18th, the plan of the 18th to visit the door was broken. Later, when she went back, she told number 16 and number 17 about this matter, but neither of them believed it, and said it was an excuse for number 18 to come to the door because of embarrassment. It wasn't until just now that number 17 believed what number 18 said half a year ago when he was sure that he was not mistaken. So, Bulma and you, who left in that machine just now came from the future time and space in the same time and space as Cell. Number 17 thought for a while, and suddenly said, number 18, did you notice it just now? In the future, you seem to have a very good relationship with Son Gohan. Okay, on the 18th, who has been paying attention to the future 18th for the past 6 months, has discovered this point a long time ago. In the future, she and Son Gohan seem to be in a relationship. It was precisely because of this that number 18 was in trouble. Besides Son Gohan, there seem to be several women. There are at least 3 that she can confirm so far. Bulma, future Bulma and future her. 17th said, you should think about it yourself, since you can develop a relationship with Son Gohan in the future, then he probably won't reject you. It's up to you to choose. Although number 18 didn't say it out loud, it can be seen whether it is number 17 or no. 16. 18 is already in love with Son Gohan. But I think, you can accept it in the future, and you should be fine, right? 17 went on to say something. Number 18 blinked her beautiful eyes and said, I'd better observe and observe. It's up to you. Number 17 spread out his hands and said, anyway, if you miss the opportunity, you can't blame me. At this time, number 18 was struggling. Even if she can forget that Son Gohan has 3 women, how will she go to find Son Gohan? Just like this directly. With no 18's arrogant character, he couldn't do such a thing. Cemetery. A flash of inspiration flashed in No 18's mind, and he had an excellent idea. Night. When Son Gohan was resting with Bulma in his arms, a strange noise suddenly came from outside. It's like a thief broke into the house. What sound? Bulma asked quietly. I'll go out and have a look. Son Gohan lifted the quilt and got up, put on slippers and walked out quietly. As soon as he came to the living room on the first floor from the second floor, he saw a black shadow rushing out of the window in the darkness. Since the light was not turned on, Son Gohan couldn't perceive the other party's chi, so Son Gohan couldn't be sure who the other party was for a while. Want to lure me out? Son Gohan saw through the opponent's intention at a glance. Okay, I want to see what tricks you want to play. After hesitating for a second, Son Gohan decided to follow suit and chased after him. Just less than a second after chasing him, Son Gohan intercepted the black shadow in midair 800 meters away from Universal Capsule Company at a crushing speed. With this distance, he would know immediately if there was any trouble in the Universal Capsule Company. And when he saw the black shadow's face clearly, Son Gohan frowned, it's you. Why did you draw me out? The person who broke into the house just now was none other than Artificial Man No. 18. Son Gohan is also very clear that the number 18 in front of him is the number 18 of the main time and space. Number 18 didn't expect to be caught up by Son Gohan so soon. She stabilized her mind, and then mustered up her courage. Said, thank you for saving me that day. Just for this, Son Gohan has a black question mark on his face. Can't you come in broad daylight? You have to sneak up at night. If I just thought you were a thief and blasted you down with an air bomb, it would be fun. Number 18. Considering No 18's arrogant temperament, Son Gohan didn't bother to argue with her. Then he waved his hand and said, if you lured me out just for this matter, then I'll go back to sleep. Etc. Number 18 gritted his teeth and stopped Son Gohan, the one who left this morning. Although it was difficult to speak, number 18 still chose to speak out. Otherwise, wouldn't her risky actions tonight be useless? Moreover, number 18 had an intuition that if he didn't say anything tonight, he might never have the chance to say it again in the future. Oh, you said the 18th in the future time and space, what's wrong? Really? After receiving Son Gohan's answer, number 18 can finally confirm that number 18 who lived in Bulma's house for the past 6 months is from the future time and space. That is, the space-time of Cell. What's your relationship with her? Number 18 beautiful eyes fixed on Son Gohan. What? Son Gohan smiled lightly. If you have been paying attention, you should know what relationship I have with her without me telling you. I see. No 18's eyes flickered, and his expression was tangled. Then, since you and Bulma can accept the future me, then I. Okay. Son Gohan tilted his head slightly. Although number 18 didn't complete the words, he already knew what number 18 meant. It seems that my plan is working. It turns out that you lured me out tonight for this matter. I'm fine, but, Son Gohan glanced at the Universal Capsule Company not far away. 18 immediately understood. It took me a lot of effort to convince Bulma of the future you. Today, the future you just left. I can't mention this kind of thing to her again in a short time. Go back and wait for my news. Heard the words. Number 18 smiled brightly and said, then I'll wait for you, Son Gohan. Back to the room. Bulma hurriedly asked, Gohan, how is it? Oh, it's okay, it's a cat. It's just a cat. I thought a thief had entered the house. Bulma was relieved to hear that it was just a cat. Open black lens bracket ding, close black lens bracket. Just as Son Gohan lay down again, the electronic notification sound of the system that had disappeared for half a year suddenly sounded in his mind. Okay. Son Gohan frowned. What is the system trying to do now? It is detected that the host has not practiced or fought for half a year. In order to prevent the host's body from rusting, a new combat mission is now issued for the host. Close black lens bracket. I'm sorry, you really did your best. Son Gohan couldn't help but secretly complained. You really deserve to be the strongest Saiyan system. After Son Gohan complained, the system's notification tone continued to sound. This combat mission is an optional combat mission. Close black lens bracket. Combat Mission 1. Defeat the 7th Universe Gods of Destruction Beerus. Close black lens bracket. Combat Mission 2. Defeat the 11th Universe Gods of Destruction Vermut. Close black lens bracket. Task completion reward. Phase 2 of Beast Form. Close black lens bracket. What? Beast Form 2. This reward, Son Gohan had to admit, he was tempted. Because if he cultivates on his own, even with the blessing of 100 times the cultivation speed, it will take at least a few years for him to break through from the beast form to the second beast form. Maybe even external stimulation is needed, like anger or something. And now, just need to win one battle. Since the rewards are all the same, then of course we should pick the soft persimmon. Son Gohan almost didn't need to think too much, and immediately selected the 11th Universe Vermut as the target of the battle. One is that Vermut is weaker than Beerus. Although he defeated Champa half a year ago, it doesn't mean he will definitely win Beerus. After all, Beerus is the strongest gods of destruction who can stand against 11. The difference in strength between Champa and Beerus, not to mention the same, at least it can be said that the difference is 108,000 miles. The second is that Beerus is still sleeping at the moment, and it is very rude to disturb others' sleep. Indeed, as a well-mannered and polite gentleman, Son Gohan obviously wouldn't do such a thing to disturb other people's sleep. Combining the two factors, Vermut is undoubtedly the best choice for Son Gohan. And according to the development of the original book, there will always be a battle between him and Beerus, so there is no rush right now. So the next day, Son Gohan went out after having breakfast. Come to the top of a mountain in the Great Plains of the Western capital. Son Gohan closed his eyes, and his consciousness began to travel through the universe. After entering the 11th universe, they quickly found the first Vermut star. Finding Vermut star, Son Gohan raised the corner of his mouth suddenly, and said to himself, Son Vermut, your father is here. The words fell. Son Gohan immediately cast unrestricted instant transmission, and disappeared on the mountaintop of Exedu Great Plains. It reappeared in the next second, and it was already on Vermut star located in the 11th universe. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.